law while still technically following the rules. Meanwhile, ambitious clubs who've got money like Newcastle, Villa or Forest, well, they're bringing a knife to a gunfight. Newcastle might be backed by Saudi billions, but they just can't splurge the cash. Their commercial income isn't there yet. Want to buy world-class talent? Well, PSR says to them, you're out top. But because of PSR restraints, they couldn't break their wage structure for a new Alexander Isak contract. And look what's happened there. Nottingham Forest tried to invest to survive. They did that, but they got punished anyway. Meanwhile, clubs like Spurs, until last season, hadn't won a trophy in over 18 years, but because they rake in cash from the new stadium, they get a much bigger PSR allowance than a newly promoted club who are just trying to stay up. And let's not forget the loopholes these big boys are exploiting. Chelsea found the trick with those long contracts, selling the women's team. City are masters of related party sponsorships. Etihad this, Etisalat that, all within the rules, and fair play to them for capitalising on those opportunities. But what about the smaller clubs? They don't have that luxury. Now look, financial sustainability matters. Nobody wants another Bury or Morecambe situation. But there's increasing concern that rather than levelling the playing field, the current rules cement the existing hierarchy. So what's the solution? Well, either loosen the reins so ambitious clubs can spend within their means, or cap spending based on something other than revenue. Otherwise, we're just watching the same 6 teams swapping silverware most seasons while the rest play musical chairs for 7th. And that, folks, ain't what the Premier League was built on.
A very, very good morning to you. Welcome along to the Weekend Sports Breakfast here on talkSPORT. My name's Shebahn Aherne, alongside former Chelsea and Republic of Ireland striker Tony Cascarino. Good to have you back.
Good morning, everybody.
Very good morning. It was a brilliant Saturday for the North London clubs.
Arsenal in terrific form today, no doubt about that. Arsenal 3, Nottingham Forest 0.
3 goals inside 15 minutes at the start of the second half, and it's West Ham 0, Spurs 3.
And not such a good return to North London for Ange Postecoglou. We'll get stuck into all of yesterday's Premier League action for you. Today, it's Derby Day. At 12 o'clock, it's Southampton versus Portsmouth on talkSPORT 2.
The build-up coming into it. Played in a fair few derbies in my time, and that was something else.
We'll hear from a man who's played in this game before, in this derby, Rory Delap, later on in the show. And after Burnley host Liverpool at 2, the 2 Manchester clubs go head-to-head at 4:30. Which manager needs a win more, Pep or Amorim?
Always I had respect for our city rivals, but players come back good, and it's a really, really important game for us to change the dynamic. And I trust a lot with the players, and yeah, we're going to do a good game.
Cass and I will bring you all you need to know about today's sport. talkSPORT always has you covered getting underway this Sunday morning. Rangers fans are pulling their hair out. They're 10th in the Scottish Premiership. Forest fans, where do you stand on Ange after game 1? We'd love to hear from you this morning. 03717 22 3344. It's the Weekend Sports Breakfast on talkSPORT. Tony Cascarino, how was the motherland?
Great. I went to Leopardstown yesterday for the racing. Had a really great fun. I mean, racing is fantastic. It was a glorious day, not too hot, but really good. Honestly, racing at this time of year, it's just a pleasure to be there. And I'll keep an eye over the football as well, because I was luckily in a box. I could catch the early game with Arsenal, taking on Forest, and then obviously later the other North London derby, which we're going to talk about this morning.
Absolutely, we'll be across it all. That's the thing, you going back to Ireland. Do you get hounded?
It was quite weird because I had to present a trophy on the 4:45 at Leopardstown yesterday, and the guy introduced me and then started talking about all the past and all that. And, of course, people don't recognise you as you get older. And I'm not on Irish TV, so people don't see you for probably 5, 6, 7 years. And I got in the cab going back to the airport, and the driver said to me, he said, "Yeah, today," he said, "my mum spotted you on the telly the other day on an advert." And she said, "Is that Tony Cascarino?" Oh. So we were having a chat and just about the times with Ireland, which was great fun. But, it was a great day. And, a load of people spoke to me afterwards, which was great fun.
Nice feelings, absolutely. Yeah. By the way, he's not on Irish TV, but he is on your smart TV. And he's also on your YouTube channel. You can watch talkSPORT there and all the action from the weekend sports breakfast there this morning. Let's get into it, shall we? If you missed it, here's what happened in the Premier League as it returned from the international break yesterday.
Another eventful day in the Premier League. Headed away by Chris Wood, comes back out, whacked in beautifully by Shebahn. What a finish on the volley from the edge of the D.
I love that probably everyone will be writing me off again. I'm up for it, so let's get it on.
All time at the Emirates. Arsenal 3. Nottingham Forest nil.
The new era begins at Newcastle. It's Newcastle 1, Wolverhampton Wanderers 0, and it's Nick Voltemade with a header at the far post, 6 yards out.
Semenyo right-footed, straight down the middle. Bournemouth celebrate. Semenyo the goal scorer. It is Bournemouth 2, Brighton 1.
It was Goodmanson with an own goal. Just didn't react. What on earth was he doing to head it into the corner? Fulham 1, Leeds 0.
West Ham 0, Spurs 3, and if it wasn't over before now, it is now. Mickey van der Ven sweeping the ball home.
And we will finish with a West London derby. It's come out to Moises Caicedo. Oh, he's rifled it in. What a strike!
Considering how late the goal came, I must say I feel it's a point that we deserved.
Long throw by Sharda, flicked on, it's in! Can you believe it? And it's the man off the bench, Fabio Carvalho! Brentford 2, Chelsea 2, and with the Premier League back, we've saved the best till last, I think.
It started so well, an absolute cracker for Arsenal, battering Nottingham Forest 3-0 at the Emirates. That was live on talkSPORT for you at 12:30. Bournemouth managed a late win against Brighton. Palace Sunderland was goalless drawcast, as was Everton Aston Villa. Everton looking good though. Villa, what is going on there?
Lots to talk about the Villa.
Yeah, I feel for them.
Yeah, I mean, look, financial fair play has impacted Villa as much as any club. But there are other issues. I feel like John McGinn is not quite playing as well for whatever reason, and he needs to be at his best for Villa because he makes a massive impact. But I think the biggest problem is Ollie Watkins and how much he's starved, ammunition to score. Yeah. What you want as a striker is chances, and at the moment he seems starved of them.
He really does. It's not the same. Fulham beat Leeds, by the way, 1-0. Newcastle also beat Wolves 1-0, and West Ham were absolutely hammered by Spurs 3-0 at the London Stadium. They also had a goal disallowed, and then late game last night, 8 o'clock live here on talkSPORT, Chelsea 2-0 against Brentford, who managed a late goal as well. But Arsenal, let's start there, defeating Forest very comfortably 3-0 in the early game. 2 goals, including an absolute stunner from Martin Zubimendi and another one from Victor Gyökeres. Not the ideal return to the Premier League for Ange Postecoglou as Forest manager. We can hear from him now. He is optimistic for the future despite that defeat yesterday. Okay, he's not optimistic at all. he's just going to say he's going to say.
I'm a formidable opponent, so even if you're going well, you're in for a tough game here. But I've got to keep in context of what the players have gone through this week and understanding the disruption they've had in their world. They're human beings, and I had no problem with their effort, their endeavour. They tried to hang in there. Look, the game we were hanging in the first half, but I thought at 1-0 we were still in the game, and then obviously we conceded the second, and that kind of let it get away from us. So there was nothing out there that kind of deflated me in any way apart from the result, because I hate losing, and the players are disappointed as well. But there's still plenty to look forward to.
What do you take away from it, Cass? I mean, any positives there?
Well, not for Ange, no. I mean, you walked in the door on Tuesday, didn't he? So there isn't a lot of time prepared for taking on a team as good as Arsenal, because Arsenal are a really good side.
Great outfit at the moment.
Yeah, they're a great outfit, and they'll be challenging for the league. They will do. There's no doubt in my mind about that. Watching them yesterday, they got swarmed over by Arsenal yesterday, Forest, and you could tell he said he didn't want to make too many changes. He had to make a lot of changes off the bench because Chris Wood came off, Hudson-Odoi came off, Morgan Gibbs-White. You've taken off 3 pivotal players to Forest last season and what they achieved. Look, he's saying the job starts today, okay? We'll give him a bit of benefit of the doubt there because that was such a hard game to start his management spell at Nottingham Forest.
Yeah, straight into the deep end against Arsenal. And like you say, just one training session he's had with his team, so it is very early days. Jamie O'Hara, though, from the Sports Bar, he's already shared his concern with Big Ange's appointment. Here you go, Forest fans. How's this for positivity?
This one, for me, I just can't see how it's going to work. There's so much around Ange Postecoglou, his interviews, the things he comes out with.
Yeah.
And I just think there's just so many problems that come with that. And when you're Nottingham Forest, because he's been at Tottenham and it was a bit of a disaster in terms of like his interviews and stuff and the stuff that he give the press. He's just carried it straight into
mate.
So we are, mate.
Yeah,
He's not a clown.
You've got to give him time. You cannot take it away from Ange. He's a winner.
Yes, to a degree. I must be honest that I've always questioned one way of playing if that's your identity. Now, I played in Republic of Ireland that were accused of a similar thing, the side, but we were effective and made it very difficult for teams to be beaten by. We had a really dogged team that just didn't give much away. Now, Ange's teams do give a lot away because of the way they play. And that will cause them a lot of problems. Yesterday, we got to give them a pass on that one. Because Arsenal just, Madueke is each wing coming at them, Gyökeres down the middle. You're looking at players that are going to cause a lot of teams problems.
Yeah.
But he'll have to adapt. Because Forest, their whole identity last year was counter-attacking, having a great defensive record, really reacting quickly, getting in positions to score goals, and Chris Wood had an unbelievable season for them, getting goals. So I'm not sure how he'll do. I just like to think he'd. Look, one thing I'd say on this is really important, Shebahn, is that if you only have one way of playing, what's the point of doing coaching badges and doing the guides and the manuals and going for all different? Because you have to adapt in football. So if you only have one way, what's the point of going doing all the coaching courses?
Yeah, you make a very good point.
That's what they teach you. They teach you different scenarios in coaching of what happens during games and how you adapt and react.
But he did adapt in the Europa League final, didn't he? He did adapt towards the end of the league campaign with Spurs.
Yeah, he did slightly.
So we know he can do that.
I'd like to think he's going to have to do that a lot more.
Right.
Because you cannot just go down a tunnel vision of this is the only way we play. And don't matter. Because you look at the opposition, they might have players that can expose you and exploit all the things you do wrong.
Yeah.
That's your trouble.
By the way, let's just focus quickly, shall we, on West Ham. West Ham fans, you will be feeling the frustration this morning. Hammered 3-0 by Spurs. A goal controversially ruled out in the first half by VAR as well. Another difficult evening for Graham Potter. He spoke about how damaging conceding so early is in the second half.
I thought we did. I thought the first half we defended, I think, 9 or 10 corners, which is a lot. And I thought we defended them well. So we made one mistake and we're punished, and that's just the level. I thought Lucas Paqueta had the best chance of the first half. I thought Dinos headed loads of balls out, Max headed balls out. The team were there, they were committed. It's just at this level, sometimes you make a mistake and you can get punished. But it wasn't that's how I see it.
I'm not sure you agree with him, Tony Cascarino.
I find that saying we defended 8 or 9 corners in the first half and defended them well, you're at the London Stadium in a derby. Okay, if you're at Anfield or Old Trafford or, the Etihad and many other clubs and you've conceded 8 or 9 corners, I can get it. I can understand it. But when you're at home and you've conceded so many corners, and by the way, I've got to point out the first goal, honestly, Shebahn. Mm-hmm. The first goal, there's 5 West Ham players at the near post. 5. No Spurs player is there. Spurs changed their tactic to get it at the far post, and literally from the middle of the goal and at the back post, Sarah's got a free header, and there's 5 West Ham players.
Yeah.
And it's like, that is just personal responsibility on players of knowing, what is the point of me being here when I've got no one to mark? There was 5. If you freeze frame it, you can see 5 West Ham players standing, and there's the rest of the Tottenham boys are all behind and at the far post.
Seems to be a real lack of leadership in that West Ham side as well.
No,
And he's not giving them anything, Cass. He's given them nothing. You pointed it out to me about a month ago. Look at Graham Potter when his side are, on the ropes. He gives you nothing. There's no communication.
Yeah, I don't want to be. I don't want to be disrespectful to a manager, but sometimes you look at things and you think, do you know what? I'm not sure what he's bringing to the table as a manager, because West Ham yesterday looked as Spursy as Spurs have ever been.
Oh.
They look like when Spurs were at their worst and times under range, where they look like they're going to concede for fun. And by the way, they offered nothing yesterday. There wasn't anything to, of course you've been beaten by 3 goals and you've had a man sent off and all these things, but they were literally torn apart by Spurs. If you watch the highlights package of the game, there isn't anything to say that West Ham did in front of goal, apart from Bowen breaking down the right ones.
West Ham fans, do you agree with that this morning? Is the writing on the wall now for Graham Potter as the manager of the club? And also Forest fans, despite that result against Arsenal yesterday, are you still feeling optimistic about Big Ange? 03717 22 33 44 81089 is the number if you want to have your say on the show this morning. This is Weekend Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Morning. morning. This is the Weekend Sports Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Shebahn Aherne alongside the former Aston Villa striker Tony Cascarino. Fan of Beyonce?
Yeah, made some great music. Yeah,
some tunes.
And Destiny's Child. Yeah.
Can you twerk?
No chance.
Okay.
Oh, absolutely not.
I'll teach you. Give me a couple of weeks, Cass. You'll be twerking.
I don't know if I'm looking forward to that.
Engage your pelvic thrust.
Oh, no. Sounds like I heard that when one of my missus was having her son.
I know. Honestly, it's not the same. I twerk since having kids. My ears off it. I don't wet myself. By the way, in the papers today, why we're playing Beyonce Crazy in Love, because there's a lovely piece on Harry Redknapp and his lovely wife, Sandra. And, you know, they're kind of famous for a beautiful marriage, aren't they? When he was in the jungle. Well, apparently they went out for their anniversary. And it took them 15 minutes to work out how many years they'd been married.
That's hilarious. Older couples, and you know when they've been together so long. I honestly, Shebahn, one of my funniest ones was my missus. Her mum and dad were married for a long time. They're not with us anymore. But one day I went round. And it was Iris's birthday, so Joe's mum. And there was a card on the side, and I opened it because it was there, but, you know, I just opened and looked at it. There's no words in.
Oh.
So I said to Tom, Joe's dad, I said, Tom, you haven't written in the card. He said, do I have to? I said, well, cool. He said, I've been married to her for 30-odd years, he said. She knows who the card's from.
Oh, my
And I remember thinking, that's such an older couple sort of thing, you know, like, why do I have to write in a card for her? She knows who it's from. She only got one husband.
I was saying this. So Jamie and I were married 10 years on Friday.
Right.
And he got the anniversary date wrong.
Right. That's about right.
He can't remember our kid's birthday.
And
they were born on the same day. They are twins. Honestly, you'll see which one. Sometimes I go, very good, very good.
Yeah, there's worse to come as you get older.
How many years are you with Joe?
Well, we were married in 2019.
So how many years that, Kev?
6.
There you go.
Yeah, on 6. November the 19th is 6 years. So I remember the anniversary.
Do not forget. We will never, ever forgive you. Let's talk about yesterday's action in the Premier League. Brentford, to be fair to them, left it late on, but substitute Fabio Carvalho tapped in a 93rd minute equaliser to deny Chelsea victory in a dramatic London derby. Cole Palmer, Moises Caicedo, what a goal from him, scored after Kevin Shadd's opener. Let's hear now from Brentford boss Keith Andrews as he praised his captain's performance against Chelsea.
What did you make of Jordan Henderson tonight? I mean, still obviously a key man in the England setup, as we've seen. What about that pass for the first goal?
Yeah, sensational. Not particularly surprising, if I'm honest. The way he passes the ball, and the level of precision, the hunger that he has for the game. You see, obviously coming on as captain of England the other night, and then comes back in here just eager to get going and eager to try and sets the tone in training. And an ultimate competitor, but the pass was clearly of a high level.
Decent performance, Cass, and he's right. Henderson is some leader, isn't he?
Yeah, and you know, for the pass to Shada was left foot, right foot, and he's away. Recognised it immediately. The senior pro is something very important for managers to get through the door. If they've got great mentality and they set the standard day in, day out, not just in matches, in games, in training, and their professionalism, and that's a big thing. You know, I always think of Gary McAllister when he went to Liverpool, James Milner, Paul Scholes when he came out of retirement because they still needed him. Paul Scholes, you know, but he'd set standards in training, and everyone would be looking up to players of that calibre. So they're important, and Jordan Henderson's no different. I remember speaking to Noel Quinn about Jordan Henderson when he left Sunderland to go to Liverpool, and I asked Quinny, because I'm a Liverpool fan, I said, you know, tell us a bit more about Jordan Henderson. He said he's not good enough for Liverpool, but he will be. And that was the mentality, knowing that his character and the way he performed in training and in games, he'd become a better player. And Jordan Henderson did. And look, he's had a rough ride. He's gone to Saudi Arabia. I'm talking about on the pitch, not all the stuff regarding finance. You know, then goes to Ajax and then comes back to Brentford, and you're thinking, absolutely straight away settled in. Not even a period of, well, he's, you know, there's a new team. He's straight in, settled in immediately.
Set pieces.
Well, they're brilliant at them, aren't they? And Keith Andrews done well to, you know, keep it going.
Absolutely, the long ball. I mean,
they've got about 3 long throw specialists at Brentford. and they are so effective. Nathan Collins causes a lot of problems with that little flick on. You get, and of course, if you get that little flick and someone just wanders round the back post like Carvalho did, you have a simple tap in.
Yeah, exactly that. Nicking a point. Brentford leaked against Chelsea yesterday. Really good game. Coming up for you here on talkSPORT today. At 9 o'clock this morning, it's Fake and Others alongside Henry Winter on the Sunday edition. They're going to be joined by Aaron D'Souza, who's the president of the Enhanced Games cast. This should be a fascinating chat because obviously Ben Proud, the Olympian, opted to go to the Enhanced Games this week, so all kicked off about that. So the president, Aaron D'Souza, with Faye and Henry at 9 o'clock this morning on the Sunday edition. talkSPORT 2, this is going to be a cracker this afternoon. The first time in a long, long time. The South Coast Derby is in the Championship. That's live on talkSPORT 2 with Nigel Adderley and Scott Minto. Meanwhile, on talkSPORT Game Day Live, Natalie Sawyer takes you around the grounds from the Premier League, Championship, WSL and beyond. That's 1:30, including Burnley against Liverpool and Manchester City versus Manchester United. You up for that?
Yeah, looking forward to it. Hey, Burnley versus Liverpool, and then you got Manchester City United. Yeah.
Absolutely. It's a tasty Sunday. Then straight after that, if you're raging, if you want to vent and get it off your chest, it's the final word with former Premier League manager Alan Pardew and Super Sam Ellard.
Of Alexander Isak, and then of course at 4:30 it is the Manchester Derby, Manchester City versus Manchester United. The 4:30 kickoff is a big one, so we're taking your calls on talkSPORT immediately following the game on the Final Word show. Alongside myself, Sam Ellard, will be Alan Pardew taking your calls. 03717 223344. An interesting Manchester Derby, both sides having tricky starts to the season. We're on from 6:30 this evening. It should be a belter.
Cheers, Sam. Trans-Euro Express wraps up all the European news from 10 o'clock tonight here on talkSPORT with Danny Kelly and the team. Coming up next, we'll check in on the World Athletics Championships. This is talkSPORT. Morning. Morning, how's it going? You're listening to the Weekend Breakfast here on talkSPORT. We're live on YouTube. We're on your smart TV as well. If you're wondering what Tony Cascarino looks like, turn on your telly now. Good to be with you this morning. Some of your other headlines. Tottenham's James Maddison has said referees and video assistant referees have had an absolute shocker at the start to the Premier League season. He said that on social media yesterday after Spurs' goal was disallowed.
Here's a question. Do you think we should give referees ratings and linesmen?
Yeah, definitely. And I think we should sub them if they're having a shocker. I'm not kidding, Cass.
Sub them.
There should be someone there.
I've never thought about that.
Yeah, that I would. If I could make one change to football, the referees get subbed off for having a shocker.
So, obviously, okay, so what if the second sub is referee? Second sub has a
We deal
shocker.
with it. We realise that they're all mints. Not all of them. That's unfair. But yeah, I mean, Maddison's right. I mean, the fact that you've got Premier League footballers jumping online to hammer refs.
Yeah, look, there's a lot of mistakes that have happened quite clearly, and VAR has played a part, but there's also terrible decisions by referees that they haven't stood by their gut reactions. So just not enough.
Yeah, no, you did right.
Talking about subbing them.
Yeah, off. Hooking a referee at half-time, how satisfying would that be?
Pretty brutal, that.
But it's true. Man City fullback Rico Lewis has signed a new contract that will keep him at the club until the summer of 2030. Good news. And also Russell Martin was booed off yesterday at half-time in the game against Hearts by his own fans at Ibrox. Booed back onto the touchline for the second half in an absolutely toxic atmosphere in that game yesterday. It leaves them 10th in the league. They lost 2-0 at Ibrox to Hearts. He spoke after the game.
They're entitled to their opinion. They're entitled to their opinion, so I can't come out here and criticise that. And yeah, fans are always entitled to their opinion. Yeah, I don't think many of them wanted me here in the first place, so...
What will you resign?
Party. No. Oh, sorry, I just shouted petty party. Look, I didn't shout anything else. I mean, Cass, 10th in the league.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they started okay, but that's shocking for Rangers fans. I actually feel for Rangers fans.
Yeah. It's such a tough one because playing my short experience of being at Celtic and the demands and how ferocious it can get is exactly the same at Rangers. These two clubs battle for the title of the SPL winners every year. They have incredible support, both of these clubs. And some of the things that Russell is saying, they're entitled to their view. And I feel like there's no solution to this now for him.
Is it got to go?
I just think I've never liked the idea of what I said earlier about playing a certain way. And when it's going wrong, you have to show that you're capable of changing things around. That, look, you're a team that's battling for the title, okay? You might not be quite as good at Celtic, but you've got to overachieve. You should be way better than all the rest. Yeah. You can pay for higher wages. You can pay higher transfer fees. So if clubs like Hearts go there, and yet Hearts can be a really good team at the moment, but they've had St Mirren. You know, I think they drew at home, didn't they, St Mirren? They've played Celtic, which was probably one of their best points, but they've dropped points evererure so far this season.
To not have a win. You know, 5 games into the season, it's really poor. And honestly, I don't
think of the relationships he's had so far.
Bring back Barry Ferguson.
Well, look, think of not only the fans' relationship with him and being booed, which is never great for a manager, but also with the players early on in the season when he called them out.
Yeah,
you know, so there has been a number of issues that I think he's added to the problem.
Yeah, it's really bad. Rangers fans will be taking your calls on this a little bit later on. 0371722 3344. Just while we're on the subject, by the way, of Scottish football, the game yesterday that probably won't be shone a light on because it was a positive game was Hibs versus Dundee United. Ended 3-3. It had absolutely everything. My friend Connie was covering the game, and as she put it so perfectly, it was just a brilliant advert for Scottish football.
Great.
That was a great game yesterday. Hearts are top of the league just now. It's early into the season. Celtic play today, but you know, I just think Rangers to be where they are in the table, I mean, it's an absolute nightmare. Ali McCoist, by the way, Rangers legend, back on talkSPORT Breakfast tomorrow alongside Jeff Stelling, if he gets out from under his bed. Morning, Ali. We love you. By the way, just in Vegas just now, 10th round of 12, Canelo against Crawford. It looks like Crawford's got the upper hand here. That's for sure. It looks like it's going to go the distance as well. Rangers fans, like I say, take your calls 0371722 3344. Let's jump over now to TokyoCast for the World Athletics Championships. They're well and truly underway. We can speak to our athletics correspondent, Michael Waydock. Good morning, Michael. How are you?
Hi, Michael.
Good morning. Morning, Kaz. Morning, Shebahn. How are you?
Yeah, very, very well. Thanks. Talk to us about the first day. Any shocks for you?
It's been a mixed start as far as British athletes are concerned. I think we've had a couple of disappointments. I think we were hoping for an early medal as far as Great Britain and Northern Ireland were concerned in the mixed 4x400 metres relay. But the athletes, unfortunately, couldn't come up with the goods as they did in Paris when they won the bronze medal there, ended up finishing 5th. But the big story overnight is come in the women's marathon. It's been an absolutely unbelievable race. And no one's talking about the two that finished 1st and 2nd, despite the fact that they were split by 2/100ths of a second. That's how close it was in the sprint finish of the women's marathon. Comes down to that margin after 26.2 miles. Wow. Kenya's Perez Chepchirchir edged out Ethiopia's Tix Asafa, beating her by, as I said, less than a second. But we're all talking about the bronze medalist, who's from Uruguay. Now, we wouldn't normally focus on an athlete from Uruguay winning a bronze in the women's marathon. So why is everyone talking about it? Well, her name is Julia Patanane, and she crossed the line in the stadium. She didn't realize she was at the finish. She had to ask the officials that was definitely the finish line. You know all those viral videos you see where people start celebrating before the finish line? She thought that she might be doing that, and then she didn't even know that she'd won a medal. She thought she might be 5th or 6th. But the great thing about this story is Julia Patanane has won this first ever World Championships medal for Uruguay, but she's actually a former English schools champion. She races for the Cambridge and Coleridge Club. Her father's a professor at Cambridge University. Oh, wow. She's in the system out in America, so she's based out in America, but her family's all from Uruguay. So earlier on this year, she got permission and she switched, and she's won this unbelievable from nowhere bronze medal. But I think they'll be celebrating in Cambridge today for it.
Yeah, fantastic story.
Yeah,
how good is that?
Stuff. I mean, what's coming up as well today, please, Michael?
Well, the big story today, obviously, and this is a change actually for these Tokyo Championships, is we've got the men's and the women's 100 metres semi-final and final. So UK time, around about 10:30, the next session starts. And we are going to see, as I said, the women and the men's semi-finals first of all. So from a Great British point of view, in the women's race, you've got Dina Asher-Smith. She looks so easy in her heat. Daryl Neita, who finished 4th in Paris, so close to winning a medal in the 100 metres in Paris. She ran a PB, actually, 10.94 in what's been an injury-hit season. I felt that Daryl Neita's been building to something this year. This could be it, Tokyo. And also Amy Hunt's reached those semi-finals as well. You'd be looking, though, for Melissa Jefferson-Wooden, who won the bronze medal in Paris. She's been the fastest this year in 10.65 seconds. She's run the three best times this year and 5 of the best 6 times this year. So Olympic champion Julian Alfred is the only other contender there. But is there a bronze medal perhaps for Daryl Neita or Dina Asher-Smith? And then it's the turn of the men. Now, Noah Lyall says he's in the form of his life. He won 3 gold medals at the last World Championships in Budapest, won the gold in Paris. He's had an injury-disrupted season. Kishane Thompson is the one I think is the favourite. Oblique Seville, also from Jamaica, is going to be a challenger. Jamaica have not won a gold in the men's 100 since London and 2017. And then you've got, obviously, the Americans as well as Noah Lyles. You've got Kenny Bednarek, who actually travelled to Tokyo and forgot his spikes. But he's obviously got... He's obviously got them somehow because he's into the semi-finals. From a British point of view, all three have got through. Zarnell Hughes, Jeremiah Razou and Rommel Glave as well. So those semi-finals and then the finals. So the next session, which, as I said, 10:30 start UK time, is going to be all about the sprinters.
Wonderful stuff. Michael Waydock and I, Cass, have something very weird in common.
We do.
Come on.
Yeah.
Tell me.
Go on, Michael.
The lodge at Loch Lomond. And now I've just mentioned that on national radio, we should both get a free afternoon tea there.
We should go together.
What happened in the lodge, Loch Lomond?
We both got married there.
Oh, right.
Separately to other people.
Well, Michael, play your cards right. You could be my second husband.
We're not going to do it at the same place. That would be weird.
That might be a bit weird.
So
But we might get it for free.
You're celebrating 10 years. And I will be celebrating 15 years at Christmas.
Oh. Could you produce twins, Michael?
I just recognised Shebahn posted a picture on social media, and I recognised the carpet.
I know.
That's my big recollection of my wedding day. I thought I recognised that carpet. We got married in the same place.
Michael, thank you so much for coming on with us, and hope today goes well in Tokyo. We'll catch up with you soon.
Thank you.
If I don't see you at the altar, I'll see you in Tokyo. Michael Waydock there. You're listening to Weekend Sports Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Up next, we're off to Vegas to find out who will be crowned the undisputed champion. This is Weekend Breakfast here on talkSPORT. A very good morning to you. You're listening to the Weekend Sports Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Shebahn Aherne and former Villa striker Tony Cascarino with you as well this morning. Some of your headlines for you. If you have just joined us, boxing history has been made. Terence Crawford has just beaten Canelo Alvarez out in Vegas. For more than that, here is our boxing correspondent, Mr. Gareth A. Davies, out in Vegas just now. How are you, Gareth? How's things looking?
Hi, Gareth.
Yeah, very good, very good. Thank you, guys. Let me just speak because I'm going to get back to it. An amazing performance by Terence Crawford. We had it much wider in our seat than 7 rounds to 5 on 2 of the judges' cards and 1-8-4 on the third judge. He won it unanimous decision tonight. He's just speaking to Max Kellerman, his Crawford at the moment, in the ring in this extraordinary stadium. It's an incredible performance when you think he stepped up 3 weight divisions. He outthought, he outmoved, he outboxed, he outspeeded Canelo tonight, who had no answers for him. I scored it 9 rounds to 3 for Crawford, who was absolutely amazing tonight. He's made history on an incredible night. The first stadium fight in Las Vegas for a very long time. Goosebumps in the stadium. It was an amazing night all round.
Gareth, if he wasn't before, if you look at the pantheon of greats in boxing, Terence Crawford certainly ticks that box, doesn't he?
I think he belongs arguably at number 1 pound for pound right now, usurping Naoya Inoue, who fights tomorrow in Nagoya, Japan, and also Alexander Usyk, who's number 1 for many of us. It was a performance of majesty. It was a performance of poise, presence, power. He did everything. If he'd gone for broke, he might even have been able to stop Canelo for the first time in his 68 fight career. He becomes an all-time great, the first man in history in the 4-belt era to win 3 undisputed divisional titles.
Unbelievable. Gareth A. Davies in Sin City, thank you so much. You be careful, Gareth. Don't be getting any face tattoos after the fight tonight, okay?
You know me, it's my 109th time in Vegas. I'm fine.
Oh, tell us absolutely everything. Gareth A. Davies is going to be on the Fight Night podcast a little bit later on to get all of the fallout from that fight. But as he says, Terence Crawford's just beat Canelo Alvarez to be by unanimous decision to become the first ever 3-way undisputed champion. Cass and I, by the way, we're in a sports studio, we're in a sports building, we're watching it on my phone on Netflix. We're sharing a phone on Netflix on the desk. I love it. That's the way to watch a fight. Yep. By the way, Canada are through to the Women's Rugby World Cup semi-finals as they demolished Australia at Ashton Gate yesterday. It's Scotland against the Red Roses later on today. We'll keep you posted on that here on talkSPORT. And club record signing Nick Vodmed enjoyed a debut to remember as his header helped Newcastle into their wait for a first win of the season against Wolves. Head coach Eddie Howe was pleased with how quickly the striker was adapting.
It would have been welcome to the Premier League for him today. He's only had a couple of training sessions. That's very difficult to then adjust to the speed of today, and he was certainly feeling it physically, I think. He said he's never got cramp before, and he had it after 60 minutes. So I think there's a physical adjustment, as we know, with this league. It's relentless.
Nick Voltamada, striker arriving, scoring his debut. We saw it as well. Another player.
Nothing
scoring.
better.
I mean, yeah, how important is that, Cass, as a striker? Just hit the ground running.
Yeah, nothing. I remember when I joined Villa, we played at the old baseball ground and Pete Shilton was in goal for Derby. So I made my debut away at Derby for Villa. We were top of the table and I headed the ball. It was going in the bottom corner. Absolutely. I literally, as I landed, I thought I had my fist up, ready to celebrate. I've scored on my debut. And Shilton from nowhere has made an unbelievable save and turned it round the post. And when I look back and reflect back, how many times it's gone well for me when you start well, just getting that goal, like for him, big transfer straight away. Gyökeres as well at Arsenal, getting goals. Šeško is going to have to score pretty quickly because goalkeepers need to make saves, to get their sort of career off to a great start at a football club, and strikers have to score goals.
Yeah.
And the longer you wait, the bigger. I didn't score for 7 games. My 7th game I scored for Villa. So I'd had a big move to Villa Park. It took me my 7th game. And I felt the pressure.
Does that feel like a lifetime?
Well, yeah, we ended up coming second that year in the title race. So And I felt quite a lot of responsibility, like I was meant to have come in to make the difference, to get us over the line. All these sort of things were thrown out, and it didn't pan out that way. So it's absolutely important that you make your mark early, get the fans on side, you're the celebrations, and the papers will be, who needs his act this morning, and all, okay, they exaggerate and go over the top on it, but it was a big goal for him personally. He's a young lad, he's only 22. So it's really important for him.
The striker conversation is back, because it felt like for a long time there it was only Erling Haaland that we could really focus on, really, really focus on. And now with the Isak situation, Gyökeres, his numbers coming to the Premier League, Ekitike coming to Liverpool, hitting the ground running.
Loads of them, yeah.
And this young lad yesterday at Newcastle, it's good. It's good for the game.
Well, there's a good interview in the paper today with Lewandowski, who talks about his career at 37. He's still flying at Barcelona. Centre forwards live and breathe off of getting goals.
Yeah. Yeah, and then it must catch on as well. It must become that habit of scoring, and
so
confidence.
It was great for him. Important.
Speaking of strikers, lack of yesterday striker action. Everton against Villa at Hill Dickinson Stadium. It ended a goalless draw. Everton did have all the chances and they held each other off yesterday. The draw causes more frustration though for Unai Emery's side, who have now a new unwanted record, failing to score in their first 4 opening Premier League games. They're the only side in the top 7 divisions to have not scored a goal yet.
Yeah, I know.
Mean, that's bad.
Yeah, well,
it's
bad. The Villa issue is a big one because financial fair play, as I touched on earlier, makes a big issue for Villa. They've not been as competitive because of the rules, the laws. But there are obviously others. And you look at no goals and Ollie Watkins. I said at the end of last season, when Ollie Watkins got dropped against PSG twice, and they'd lost the first game in Paris, and then the second game, everybody, and me included, thought Ollie Watkins would come back into the side and start again. And I think if I remember right, I think he had like 15, 17 minutes in the performance at home at Villa Park, because Villa played well that night. But Ollie had got dropped and left out. Now, what he achieved at Villa in the time before this issue came about was extraordinary. It was one of the main reasons they got to the Champions League, was his goal scoring. And his head got turned okay. There was interest from Arsenal, but he also didn't get the loyalty from his club, from his manager. Ollie probably felt, I'm not really wanted, or I'm not as necessary as I once was. And some people say, just get on with it. It hasn't worked out. You haven't had your move. Just get on with it now. Show us what you can do. But now he's in a way, Bailey's left the football club. There is not the same weapons for Ollie to get goals on a regular basis. And he does take a number of chances, and fair play to him because he gets in a lot of good positions to score goals. But yesterday, watching Ollie, it felt like he was literally working off crumbs. Morgan Rogers had been away with England, come back, and it wasn't quite on his game. Then I'd had John McGinn in there, who's been a brilliant player for Villa. Again, been away and coming back. It just looked like Villa offered literally nothing going forward yesterday.
Yeah. Are you worried for them?
No, I wouldn't be worried. I think it'll come together, but it's going to be a much more tricky season. We use the word transitional, don't we, season. I think it's going to be that for Villa, but it's going to be some difficult moments, that's for sure.
And Everton, by the way, do you think...
Look, Beto had a number of scoring chances. Didn't take him yesterday. Martinez, by the way, was Villa's best player by a country mile. Made a number of saves in the game. Yep. But Beto, I'd be disappointed he didn't walk off with a goal.
I'm sure he would be. Okay, coming up for you in the next hour of the show, we're going to build up to all of today's football action, including 2 massive derby games. Southampton hosting Portsmouth in the Championship for the first time in the league in 13 years. Oh, what about that for a spicy derby? It's going to be absolutely crazy. And also Manchester derby coming up for you later today. You're listening to The Weekend Breakfast on talkSPORT. Good morning.
after football. For a lot of players, it means going into punditry. Some turn to coaching or working in the game in other ways. But what about the rest? Some former footballers turn their sights away from the game, and there are a few big surprises. First up, from rainbow flicks to pancake flips. Ex-Chelsea and Southampton defender Ken Monku switched up his footballing career to buy a Dutch pancake house. He bought out the shop, which had been his favourite pancake spot as a child, and before long he was mixing the batter and getting behind the stove. Next, Everton legend Thomas Gravesen swapped out the high stakes of the Premier League for those of the poker room. He made over 150 appearances for the Toffees and won the Scottish Premier League with Celtic. Turned out the Danish international was pretty darn good at poker. He racked up a reported £100 million from his Las Vegas adventures. Remember former Chelsea goalkeeper Petr Cech? Turns out football nets weren't the only goals he was pretty handy in front of. After retirement, he became a goaltender in ice hockey. Same skills, very different surface. And he even won a Division 2 title with Guildford Phoenix. For ex-Liverpool centre-back Daniel Agger, it wasn't just fancy footwork that was in his blood. He was also pretty good with his hands. The Denmark international turned to tattoo artistry after he hung up his boots. He'd qualified as a skin artist while at Anfield, and he then became the co-owner of his own tattoo company as well. It's not all glamour for ex-pros, though. 1966 World Cup winner Ray Wilson set up a very different kind of business. He became an undertaker after he retired. Finally, not many people can say they've won both a World Cup and starred in an Oscar-winning film. In fact, there's only one person in the entire world who can say that. Frank Leboeuf, the former Chelsea defender, was part of the 1998 France squad who won the World Cup. He ended up marking Brazil's Ronaldo in the final and helped his side to a 3-0 win. But Leboeuf had already begun acting on the side while he was playing football, and his biggest role came some years after his retirement when he landed the part of a doctor in the Stephen Hawking biopic The Theory of Everything.
I embrace the career of acting, so I want to learn more. So seeing lots of movies is a part of my job.
To be honest, with all the dramatic diving in the game these days, there's probably tons of ex-pros who've got the acting skills to make it in Hollywood.
Good morning, this is the Weekend Sports Breakfast Show here on talkSPORT. Shebahn Aherne alongside former Marseille striker Tony Cascarino. We've got lots
and loads to do.
Agenda for you today. Brilliant Saturday for the North London clubs. Firstly,
Arsenal in terrific form today, no doubt about that. It's Arsenal 3, Nottingham Forest 0.
3 goals inside 15 minutes at the start of the second half, and it's West Ham 0, Spurs 3.
not such a good return to North London for Ange Postecoglou, this time as Forest boss. So, Forest fans, are you worried? Only one game, only one training session. Cass says you need to give him the pass, but where do you stand with that? 03717 22 3344. We'll get stuck into all of yesterday's Premier League action, and today you're in for an absolute belter because it's Derby Day, 12 o'clock. It's Southampton versus Portsmouth on talkSPORT 2.
The build-up coming into it. Played in a fair few derbies in my time, and that was something else.
Premier League icon Rory Delap tells us what it was like playing in a Southampton-Portsmouth derby. We're also going to hear from Burnley as they host Liverpool at 2 o'clock this afternoon, and then it's the Manchester derby at 4:30. Which manager needs the win more, Pep Guardiola or Ruben Amorim?
If you see the data, we are a different team. We are ready to play the game, but we have to show on Sunday. So I think we are a better team today.
We are where you need to be to get you into your Sunday of sports. Rangers fans, you're pulling your hair out this morning. 10th in the league. We want to hear from you. 03717 223344. Should Russell Martin leave the club? You're listening to the Weekend Sports Breakfast on talkSPORT. Terence Crawford also just in the last few minutes crowned the undisputed champion in Las Vegas, beating Canelo Alvarez. We just spoke to Gareth A. Davis there. Did he say it's 109th time he's been in Vegas?
Yes, I don't know how you would count. Why would you count?
I mean,
I know Gareth has been there a lot, but 109 times?
109 times. He's got to have some stories from Vegas.
Yeah, well, a lot of them have stayed in Vegas. Gareth, but yeah, amazing. Imagine going to one place. I mean, I've probably done Vegas 10 times, around 10.
But you like the poker and all?
Yeah, around the poker, but I've also been to fights in Vegas. I've seen Ricky Hatton fight him.
The atmosphere, I mean, we were just watching on Netflix. That's the home of fighting, right? And now it feels like it's Saudi. The atmospheres aren't the same. They're nowhere near it.
Well, without going too detailed on it, Vegas has changed because it's become so expensive that people are complaining that you're paying for everything on every level. It's not just tips and, food prices have gone astronomical in Vegas.
Somebody said yesterday, a bottle of water in your hotel room in Vegas.
Yeah.
$50?
Well, I know there's one brand you can get is like 26, but it's just across the board burgers, $50 burgers and things like this. And, come on.
Yeah. You don't go in there.
That's without the valley parking and that's without, your resort costs. And then if you want to check in early, they have a check-in fee.
And then you get the tips for everything.
Yeah, and they've
bring you a drink to get a tip.
Yeah.
What?
Well, 15% it used to be, or say it started at sort of 10, 12 and a half and then went to 15. Now Vegas you can get 20 plus.
You know what? You can still go to Glasgow social clubs and get £3.20 for a vodka. It's great. Never mind Vegas, people. Let's go to Glasgow. Right, coming up for you today, it's the Manchester Derby.
Welcome to Manchester. It is a rivalry that has never lacked the spice or intrigue. Ready! Filled in by David Silva. Turned in by Vincent Kompany! And it's about to heat up again. Back-to-back defeats for Pep Guardiola's side.
It's not the best situation to start, but it's what it is.
We always say it doesn't really get going so much. You've just got to be there.
You cannot leave it like a normal derby, like two great teams fighting for the title. And he's not there.
Bruno Fernandes puts the ball in the back of net. Manchester United 3, Burnley 2.
We're now talking about a football club that he's been in charge of for 10 months. And there seems to be nothing changed.
I'm pretty sure he's a very good guy. He's still a very good manager, but he's living a nightmare.
Expectations are different. The expectations and then the focus on Manchester United.
What an individual effort from Matthias Cunha! But it's back to Haaland, point-blank range, and there he shows what a goal scorer he can be. Fergie once went on record as saying that for Manchester Derby City would never be favourites in his lifetime. Well, that has completely turned around.
This is an interesting one today, Cass. I feel it's almost ever so slightly going under the radar because of the international break. Ange coming back to the Premier League, Nuno being sacked, all that kind of stuff. It's kind of going under the radar, but I mean, it's a huge opportunity for Amorim to just, really turn things around and for Pep to kind of bounce back, dare we say? Yeah,
look, I think Amorim, when we heard him speak a little bit earlier, he feels like a little bit more confident because the data, what he's seeing of what his team have done. Now, you look at their results, they lost to Arsenal at home, so okay. And then you can go, well, they beat Burnley 3-2 last time out, and it was a late goal. But I feel like he thinks that people are just settling in now. There's a little bit more of a team. They drew quite often last year, didn't they? They drew in the Community Shield, I'm pretty sure, last season. And then obviously in the league, they had a draw. So, it feels like he's a little bit more optimistic. But both teams have had a sticky start.
Yeah.
It's not just Manchester United. Both City have, lost to Spurs, lost to Brighton away. Who'd have thought that? Yeah, went and hammered Wolves, but a real poor start by sort of both teams in numbers.
You wonder who needs this win more, Ruben Amorim or Pep Guardiola. Somebody will be hoping it's going to be Amorim, as talkSPORT's presenter and reporter Angelina Kelly, who's with us this morning. Good morning, Ange. How are you getting on?
Angelina?
Good morning. I'm all right. Nerves haven't quite kicked in yet. I'm doing okay at this point.
But Angelina, I was saying there with obviously Shebahn about, you know, the results in recent years and where United are and where City are. You know, it feels like this year they've both stuttered at the early part of the season.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, with Manchester United, there's always pressure, and I think we all knew that if things didn't go well, Ruben Amorim was going to have even more pressure put on him. There was going to be more attention on Man United, and we didn't want that to happen, but it has happened. And like you were saying earlier, this, you know, which manager needs it more? I think for Ruben Amorim, he's really got to try and settle the nerves of the fans, of the players. And like you say, you look at Manchester City, everybody thought with the signings that this was going to be a reinvigorated Manchester City, that because they were so poor last season, you know, oh, don't worry, Pep won't let it happen coming into this season. And it's happened. They don't look good. You've obviously got the goalkeeper situation. They look shaky in certain areas. So I think as a Manchester United fan, you're coming into this maybe with a little bit of optimism, which probably sounds strange when you think about the Grimsby situation. But you think, well, we did it last season. This, again, same as last season when Man United beat them, this is the best time to be playing them because they do look weak.
Yeah, I mean, just to touch on there, Angelina, I mean, if you look at the experience that's gone out of City as well, players who were tried and trusted have done well, people like Kyle Walker, you've had the injuries to John Stones, Nathan Ake's future, then you've lost De Bruyne, Grealish has gone out on loan, Ederson the keeper. I mean, you literally go through the Man City team and go, there's an awful lot of change. Some of them are still there, but not playing the part that they had done in previous season.
Yeah, and I think that's going to play a massive role because derby games are different. There's a different feeling to it. There's a different expectation. And, you know, having that experience of knowing what it is to play in these games, you know, it does carry a lot of weight. So I think Manchester City are going to struggle in that area. Obviously, they've got one or two injuries as well. So I think, you know, maybe it does swing in Man United's favour a little bit more that the majority of their players have played in these games and are still playing in these games in a very strong position, I would say. But yeah, I completely agree. I think that it will be different for Manchester City going into this.
The goalkeeper situation is very interesting for both sides as well. We can hear now from Pep Guardiola and Amorim, managers of the clubs, who are leaning towards starting who they want to start in this game. We'll hear from Pep first.
Just going back to Donnarumma, what does he give you that you didn't have?
He's so tall. That gives us is so huge.
It's a different league, it's a different country, different trainings, different ball. So we'll try to maintain that, and they will fight for the position. So for me, for this game, it's clear Altay will start.
Donnarumma, what is he, 6'6" as well, Ange? That's your height.
Yeah, that's why they call me Big Ange.
Big Ange.
What are you on about?
I mean, it's not going to be the new goalkeeper either. He's going to stick with Altay Bayınder. Are you happy with that?
Oh God! I mean, I guess he's tall, yeah. But I just when those crosses come in, when those corners come in, I have never seen a goalkeeper look as shaky. Like it really, really does unsettle me. And I think Manchester City will be looking at that and they will be exploiting that. So I hope he's done a bit of work, you know, during this international break. But I understand it, you know, throwing the new goalkeeper into this, you know, it's a lot of pressure. And I think when you look at Manchester City, I guess for both sides, there are areas that they can exploit for these goalkeepers because Donnarumma, yes, he's very tall. Yes, he's very experienced. We've seen what he can do, especially for PSG last season in the Champions League. But, you know, with the ball at his feet, that is his weak spot. And then you look at Trafford, Manchester United will be looking at that and thinking, this kid, as much as people say he's confident, he's had some nervy moments already. So again, I mean, I remember quite a few blunders in Manchester derbies. I remember when Ben Foster once tried to tackle Carlos Tevez when he made the move over to Manchester City. I remember seeing some absolute howlers. And I don't know, maybe we could be in for another one today.
Angelina, I've got to briefly ask you, because obviously we've seen Gyökeres score and we've seen you know, other strikers, Nteke, you know, just loads of players have come in and got goals. Šeško hasn't got a goal yet And do you think by his performances, he really looks like to me he needs one quickly?
Yeah, I think that there's pressure on him going into this game, especially with Rasmus Højlund, touching down in Napoli. He's already scored a goal. You know what? I knew it was going to happen.
Yeah.
Absolutely knew it was going to happen. It's just so Man United, isn't it? But I think, the pressure is definitely on for Benjamin Šeško. I think I understand that the penalty situation with Grimsby, there was some fitness issues, etc. But that wasn't a good look. So I think people are already looking at him like, well, what kind of striker is he that he doesn't even want to step up against Grimsby and take a penalty? I think he has to be on the score sheet today. I think, got a couple of good goal scorers, Mbumo, Ahmad, Bruno Fernandes. But I think for Šeško, he's got to score today.
Angelina, you're with us across the day. You're watching the WSL action. London City Lionesses versus Manchester United. Keep you posted on everything from the WSL today. Our talkSPORT correspondent and presenter, Angelina Kelly, also known as Big Ange. Thank you, Ange.
Cheers.
Chat to you again very, very soon. You're listening to the Weekend Sports Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Coming up next, we'll get stuck into what else is coming up today. It's Derby Day here on the talkSPORT network. good morning. You're listening to the Weekend Sports Breakfast here on talkSPORT. It's Shebahn Aherne alongside former Nancy striker Tony Cascarino. Cass, it's our biggest competition today. It's launched, it's had takeoff. We're giving you the chance to win Oasis tickets, plus maybe the best bit, £25,000.
Lovely.
Yeah, it's absolutely brilliant competition. So 2 lucky winners are going to come on air and go on head to head to win that 25 grand. So not only are they going to win the tickets, but the chance to win 25k as well. The Oasis date is the 27th of September. And like we say, the chance to win an absolute fortune. For all the details on how you can enter this brilliant competition, here's all you need to know.
18 plus, UK excluding Northern Ireland. For a chance to win, text the word Oasis to 83338 and you're in the draw. Text costs £2 plus 1 standard network rate message. You must have the bill payer's permission. Or you can enter for free by calling 0330 880 3338. All entries must be received by the 19th of September at 9 a.m. This is a talkSPORT limited promotion run on talkSPORT, Talk and Virgin Radio UK stations. Full terms and conditions at talksport.com.
Okay, it's time now for this.
We're looking for something dumb to do. Hey, baby, I think I want to marry you.
No. I'm just reading ahead. Okay, I'm already got my Judge Judy hat on, Cass. What do you make of this? A couple who've been together for 14 years have decided to opt for change as their wedding presents. Instead of asking for gifts, they've asked for guests to contribute towards the honeymoon, which is pretty normal. It's a done thing now. I have absolutely no problem giving cash or money for weddings. I'd rather do that than get a gift they don't want. But this couple decided to place a card reader at their wedding reception for people to tap, to put money to a fund, and then they flew out to Mexico the next day on the honeymoon.
I know, this tapping, on your card is getting ridiculous. It's just everywhere.
A wedding you're putting down.
Yeah, I know. It doesn't feel very personal, does it? Just tapping your card. I suppose one thing you could say, if you were going to be really generous and get them a lovely present, you might go, well, I can only do a max £100. So say only, it's still a lot of money, £100, but tapping. They
also had a QR code.
Yeah. For even more then.
I can't.
Well, it just doesn't feel like there's any...
The QR code said, don't be tight, pay for our flight.
I tell you what, they've got some confidence there on that one. It just feels strange that there's no thought in any of this of, just do a tap and that's it. And you can do what you want with the money. I don't know. Maybe it's me.
Yeah, maybe I'm being judgmental, but I think to have the audacity to ask your guests to tap. Tap me out, honestly.
Imagine just a tap. Say sorry, but can you put your card in because we need to do your code.
It's actually working. Yeah, can you insert your card? Do one. Oh, that is so bizarre. Maybe I'm wrong. Is this the done thing now? Do you?
The modern world is it's evolving so incredibly quick over things like this.
Yeah, I got teaspoons as a wedding gift.
Teaspoon.
And I was like, thanks for the thought. It's the thought that counts. 8, 10, 89. You can let us know your thoughts on this. By the way, coming up for you today, live on talkSPORT 2. If you haven't already, download the talkSPORT app, swipe across the talkSPORT 2 because you're in for a cracker. The first time in the league in 13 years. It's the Battle of the South Coast, Cass. It's Southampton taking on Portsmouth, not just about football, but it's the war of the South Coast. I mean, these clubs simply hate each other.
Yeah, I've been at one or two of them, and they're feisty. You'd expect, not under normal circumstances that the South Coast it'd be pretty. It's not. It's feisty, and look. Both teams have not had the greatest of starts. Portsmouth have had a slightly better start at Southampton. And there's, obviously Southampton are a team that have got relegated and are trying to find a way. Gone with a new manager. Will Stills came in.
Yeah.
It'd be feisty. Of course it will today. And it's at Southampton. So, yeah, great game.
Yeah, Southampton come into this one.
I'll ask you a question on this. Do you think the Championship derbies are better than the Premier League ones now?
The Premier League derbies appear to have changed.
Well, there's so many of them. If you put in account all the London clubs, there's derby after derby regularly. But I just feel like the Championship derbies have a bit more feisty, and it just feels a little bit more uncertainty happening in the games.
Yeah, and it also brings something different. That maybe it's
more
not
jeopardy. Maybe.
Yeah. I mean, everybody really looking forward to seeing this derby back in the Championship. I mean, last time these two sides met, it was in the League Cup in 2019, and one of the most kind of famous memories from that game was the fan that punched the police horse, who ended up going to prison. That was that game. That was that moment. I remember that horrid picture. So this being back in the Championship, it's great for the fans as long as it does not go too far. It's going to be live for you on talkSPORT 2. One man who could make his debut in this game is Southampton's Tom Fellows. He joined the club from West Brom just before the international break and is looking forward to a baptism of fire on what could be his first start for the club.
Yeah, no, it's a good way to start. Going to be a massive match. You know, I've only been here for a couple of weeks, but it's clear to me and all the new lads how big the match is going to be. So yeah, it's a good way to start. Excited, and hopefully can start it off on the right note. You know, and it can sort of kickstart our season into a good one.
Yeah, Tom, good luck with that one. I mean, what a game to start in, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, look, the derbies in the Championship. I mean, I look at Ipswich, you've got Norwich there now, you know. You've got the two Sheffield clubs who are obviously bottom and second from bottom. It just feels like the derbies are a little bit more feisty in some ways because we've seen some real dull affairs in derby matches in the Premier League, haven't we?
Yeah.
Some real dull affairs.
Yeah, I mean...
And there is a lot of them. That's maybe one of the issues.
Yeah, you're right about that. By the way, Southampton come into this one 16th, having 5 points from 4 games. Portsmouth are currently in 10th, 7 points from the first 4 games in the Championship. It's at St Mary's. It's the Battle of the South Coast. It's going to be live for you on talkSPORT 2 this afternoon. Please be careful. Take it easy if you are going out and about. You're listening to the Weekend Sports Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Coming up next, we're going to be joined in the studio by our Band of the Week. Region are with us next. Good morning. Good morning, you're listening to the Weekend Sports Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Shebahn with you alongside former Villa and Chelsea striker Tony Cascarino. Some of your other headlines you're waking up to this morning from the Premier League. Fabio Carvalho tapped in a 93rd minute equaliser from a long throw. The long throw's back, baby, to earn Brentford a 2-2 draw at home to Chelsea. Late debutant Kevin inspired Fulham to a last gasp at victory as Gabriel Goodmanson's own goal gave the Cottagers a 1-0 win over Leeds. And in the Championship, Sheffield United head coach Ruben Sayers says he has the support of the club's board despite overseeing their worst start to the season for 30 years. Russell Martin, Casper, we're talking about Rangers earlier on, are 10th in the Scottish Premiership. That's their worst start to the season in 47 years.
Yeah.
His fans booed him out at Ibrox for the second half. Not was he booed off, he was booed out.
Yeah.
Ugh.
It's a tough one.
Yeah.
He's going to have to roll up his sleeve and get some results pretty quickly.
I don't know. I think he's going to be gone.
Probably.
I think he's
that's the brutal side of football, isn't it?
It really is. By the way, just shout out to the troops who were in Leith yesterday for the game. Hibs and Dundee United, 3-3 draw. Had absolutely everything that game. That is a good game to focus on an advert for Scottish football. Just going back to Sheffield United and Ruben Sayers. What's your thoughts on that, Cass?
Well, they've got themselves in a pickle, Sheffield United, haven't they? And they've had a dreadful start to the season. 5 straight defeats. I think they've got 1 goal, conceded about 12. And, I didn't agree with the decision at the end of the season for Chrissy Wilder. I thought it was absolute madness.
So I was listening to Game Day with Reshman yesterday, and there was a statement that came from our chief football correspondent, Alex Crook, about the possibility of Chris Wilder making another return to Sheffield United.
Well, there's going to be loads of links too, Chris, because obviously we get 92 points and you manage to get the sack and then you have a dreadful start of the season. And I understand that because Chris done an amazing job. He put together a really good side with a lot of investment from the previous season. A lot of good players are still there. So seeing them losing as they have, there's going to be links to Chris. At the moment, don't know. I just think that someone will take Chris very quickly because he's a very good manager. Would he want to go back to a club for a 3rd time? He's been sacked there twice and clearly, unfairly, the last one. So I think that it's all in Chris's hands. If he did go back, if it was a possibility he did go back, he would hold all the cards, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Because in a power of strength, the fans, I'm sure, would be delighted for a change again now because it's a bit like what's happened at Glasgow Rangers.
Yeah.
You lose enough games in the way you lose, it causes chaos within a club, and Sheffield are back there.
Taken apart on Friday night on talkSPORT 2 by Ipswich, so pressure on Ruben Sayers. Could we see Chris Wilder return to the club again? We'll keep you posted as and when, and if that happens, live for you here on talkSPORT. Okay, it's time now for this.
The fans, they start to sing, I wanna be in that number. I wanna be in that number.
The song you're hearing now on Weekend Breakfast on talkSPORT, In That Number by the band Region. Very, very pleased to say that the team Ben and Patro are with us in the studio this morning. Cass, Ben, Patro, welcome to the show.
Good morning, boys.
Good morning.
Very, very good to have you here. And today of all days, Ben, because you've written this song for Southampton and today is a big old day for the Saints.
Massive day. Come on, you Reds. Massive day, yeah.
You've written this song for Southampton, right?
I did. I've written it for them, yeah. I sort of, well, they didn't ask me to, but I've just done it because I was born in Southampton. I've supported it my whole life. Obviously, I've been doing music for years, and basically, I just thought, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to do something to lift the spirits and get us back.
Yeah. It feels like
where we want to be. We need an anthem, you know what I mean? I know we've got the classic Saints anthem, but it needs a rock and roll anthem, and we're from Southampton, here we are, mate, So,
yeah. And tell us the feeling because obviously it's been a real tough number of years for Southampton, hasn't it? A club that, you've got new stadium, and it's always felt to me you've attracted some really good players to the football club, and when it gets exciting, but it seems to fall apart very quickly as well when it does.
I agree, yeah. I mean,
the Poch era years, which was great.
I know. And the Koeman era as well.
Yeah.
How good was that? The Koeman era for me led into the Pocho type type, you know, he lived off the back of that for me. I mean, I do rate Pochettino, but I don't know. I think Koeman was a better manager for Saints. Like, you know, Pochettino went on and done better wherever he went. Fair enough. But we always sell our players.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. But financially, we're a very well-run club. Do you know what I mean? Financially. But we sell our players, you know, and we're up and down. And
we sold a good few at Liverpool.
Oh, well, they used to be our best friends at one point. Well, more the Scousers.
By the way, just on the subject of Russell Martin as well, are you surprised that he's struggling at Rangers? Or
No.
Think about it there, Ben. Think about it.
Don't sit on the fence or anything.
No, I won't do that. No, to be honest with you, I was over the moon when we went up. He done well to get that team up and out. You know, something like 26 games unbeaten run, wasn't it, or something like that. It was madness, but yeah, to be honest with you, like going to Rangers, I don't know, Champions League, I don't know, it's maybe a step too high.
Yeah, no, you're right. Patro, you're Greek, right?
Yes, I am.
What do you think of Ange Postecoglou? I hear Greece, I think of Ange. No offence. And it's a beautiful place.
Yeah, I love Greece. And for me, I support PAOK. That's my favourite team.
Okay.
Yeah. So I just watch Greek football. That's it.
I don't blame you. I'd be watching Greek football over Scottish football sometimes. I'm only shooting that out. Today's a huge day. I take it would be a dream of yours sometime, Ben, to try and perform this at St Mary's.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. But I won't say any more than that. But yeah, I mean, it's being played today at the game round the stadium. Yeah.
Good.
And it's gonna be the first time it's played at St Mary's. Good. So that's gonna be awesome.
It's called In That Number, and you're going to
be in that number.
Be in that number, and you're going to give us a blast of it now here on Weekend Breakfast. All right, guys.
Yes, fire away. Looking forward to it.
When the Saints go marching in, I'm gonna be in that number. It will save me from any sin. If the crowd, they start to sing, oh, when the Saints go marching in, I'm ready for the zombie, and it would save me from any sin. 'Cause red and white is the colour that's on me. And when the sun comes up in the northern stand, it will be alright. If it's an evening game, St Mary's shines under the bright white lights, and the brass band starts to play, we all go marching in, and the fans, they start to sing, I wanna be in that number, I wanna be in that number. Be in that number. That's the way it goes, that's the way it flows, that's the way she likes it, that's the way it goes. Oh, when the Saints go marching in, I have to be in that number, 'cause it would save me from any sin. When the crowd, they start to sing, oh, when the Saints go up and down, you've got me spinning around, then I'm ready for the zombie, 'cause red and white is the colour that's on me. And when the sun comes up in the northern stand, it will be alright. If it's an evening game, St Mary's shines under the bright white lights, and the brass band start to play, we'll all go marching in, and the fans, they start to sing, I wanna be in that number, I wanna be in that number. Be in that number. That's the way it goes, that's when the Saints go marching in. Oh, when the Saints they go marching in. Brothers and sisters, you like my brothers and sisters. That's the way it goes, that's the way it flows, that's the way she likes it, that's the way it goes. Oh, when the Saints go marching in, I have to be in that number, and it would save me from any sin. And red and white is the colour that's on me.
Well done, absolutely brilliant.
Well, if your team had the same passion as you have this morning, it'd be fine.
It's a bit early, but yeah, here we are.
We're going to have to get some sort of Portsmouth performer on next to try and match that to make it some sort of even. Guys, that was outstanding. That's
Thank
the
you.
band Region be in that number. Big Southampton fan. Good
Thank
luck
you
and
so
enjoy.
much.
And good luck with the single and the album as well, lads. Thanks so
Are
much.
you touring? Got any dates of doing it?
Yeah, so the next date, we've been all over the place playing HMVs, joining Southampton, Sheffield, Manchester, but we're back in Sheffield Saturday the 11th of October. It's an all-day event and we're on at 5:30, so... Yeah.
Excellent. Well, good luck to you. Good luck today.
Thank you.
Enjoy your
Thank
tune
you.
being played at St Mary's.
Cheers.
Well, keep going strong. Coming up for you next on Weekend Breakfast on talkSPORT. We will continue to build up to a massive South Coast derby. Good morning.
What are we doing now, Shebahn? Are we doing... I didn't know where we were. I was completely lost.
You're busy being a fanboy over Regent. You completely lost your...
Well, luckily I didn't say anything wrong.
What are we doing now, Shebahn?
No, I wasn't sure where we were, because the running order, by the way, I've got the running order. It's got some of the previous week stuff on. Okay? So I know it's wrong. But anyway.
We don't just throw this thing together, Cash.
I'll blame somebody else.
You're listening to the Weekend Sports Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Shebahn Aherne alongside former Republic of Ireland striker Tony Cascarino. Some of your other headlines, by the way, if you've just woken up, history maker Terence Crawford stunned Canelo Alvarez on points in Las Vegas just about an hour ago, becoming the first male fighter in the modern era to hold undisputed titles in 3 weight divisions.
Yeah.
Outstanding.
Just a quick question on that. When does the modern era start?
Like, what are we thinking, 10, 15 years ago?
Because
is that modern?
I mean, there's boxers that have won weights up, maybe even up to 5 different weights. Going higher. So I'm not, because obviously it's like a bit like saying, when the old Division 1 and then the Premier League come in the early 90s, you have all these different records that get set.
Well, you are the Court of Arbitration for Sport, CAS. That's
CAS,
what,
yeah.
Every time I say CAS everywhere, I think of Cascarino.
Yeah.
But so you can make this decision for us.
Weren't quite sure the exact date of when the modern era was.
Yeah, I'm saying
boxing.
15 years.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Usually miles off it. In other news, world champions New Zealand recovered from a slow start to defeat a spirited South Africa and seal their spot in the Women's Rugby World Cup semi-finals. And in conversation with the man himself, Rory Delap, he gave us his thoughts on what it's like to witness a South Coast derby.
Say the build-up and the police, we had to change the way we were going to the ground and, little things like that. They said people were waiting on a bridge, but the atmosphere that day was incredible for the wrong reasons for us, because we got a bit of a pasting that day. But
Rory Delap there, he played in that game. This was the game where Harry Redknapp had made the switch to be the Southampton manager, all within a couple of weeks, and there was helicopters overhead.
Yeah.
Harry Redknapp said it was terrifying that day.
Yeah, and he's seen everything. So when Harry Redknapp tells you, and he's seen and been involved in many London derbies and matches of that level where, I think you get surprised sometimes in football. And Southampton, Portsmouth, or whatever way you want to play it, whether it's at Pompey, it can be really feisty.
Yeah. I mean, it's good for the league, isn't it? It's good for the fans to have those rivalries in the league. But this one is particularly hateful.
Yeah, I think you can go to a lot of them, honestly, Shebahn. Some of them you go to and you're surprised. I mean, I've been to a lot of football matches in my life, and I've come away sometimes and thought, never realised it was as bad as that, a particular derby.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, it's funny listening to Rory, because I was with Rory in the Republic of Ireland, and his son's done brilliant, and his son's nothing like the player that Rory was. There's nothing to take away. Rory was a real solid midfielder he was most famous. He'd be on $100,000 a week or $300,000 a week with his throw-ins in the modern game, wouldn't he? Everyone would be paying Rory money. He's probably thinking, because you always get someone come up to you and say to you, would you like to be playing today? And all that. And I said, well, I had a great time and we done okay in our era, And then there's Rory, we'd probably think, would you be playing today, with the throw-ins out? And Rory said, well, I could play a bit as well.
Absolutely. Rory was saying the amount of people every day who still ask him for a throw-off.
Yeah.
Did you ever try it?
No, well, yes, I've done it, but no, there are some people who just can launch it.
Yeah.
And again, if you practice, you can add good yardage.
That's what Rory said. He said it's
you
all
can
about
add. Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it with players that have added 10 yards on their throw-ins.
Should be a good one today. It's been 12 years since a South Coast derby in the league. It's live for you on talkSPORT 2. Southampton versus Portsmouth.
We don't give our games ratings on talkSPORT, but what you are about to hear should come with a warning.
I think the players should enjoy it. Like if you're not up for this sort of game, if you can't enjoy it, then go fishing or something, or go and do something else.
We know what it means to everyone. We know what it means to everyone at the football club.
It's a brutal rivalry, unsavoury at times. Ask Harry Redknapp.
It means more because it means more to the club. It means more to the supporters. but it's got to mean more to us as a team as well.
Two clubs separated by 19 miles of the M27.
I want the players to enjoy the occasion. I don't want us to get too carried away with anything.
Trust me, it will surprise you how nasty it gets.
We know what a sort of ferocious derby that it is.
When you win it, it's like, phew. So no, I'm like, I can't wait. I think I'm like everyone. I think bring it on.
It really gets the city's absolutely fired up. The fans fired up. Last time they met it was a League Cup game in 2019. A fan was arrested for punching a police horse. Here to look ahead to this game for us is ex-Saints defender Francis Benali. Good morning, Franny. How are you?
Francis.
Good morning, Shebahn, Kaz. How you doing, guys?
Yeah, we're both good. Tell us, Francis, because you've been part of that and you've witnessed what it can be like, Southampton, Portsmouth, and and it's always gone under the radar slightly. But I think in recent years, because so many of us talk about different types of derbies.
Mm. Yeah, it's as you've just been saying, and it was great, by the way, just to see and hear my former teammate Rory Delap. What a character, what a guy, and it's a little bit of an injustice to him. Just saying he had a long throw, because I can remember him scoring a fantastic scissor kick overhead goal one day, and if someone scores a goal like that at St Mary's in a Saints shirt, the whole roof is going to erupt, because there's a real edge to this one, as you've just been saying. There's almost like a nastiness to it, and it's probably fueled by the fact that, as you mentioned, Shebahn, in a moment ago, that these games don't come round too often. So since the fixtures were sort of released at the beginning of the season, this is the one supporters from both sides have been focusing on.
Franny, I've got to ask you. I know he was famous for throwing, obviously his long throws, Rory, but could he throw a party as well?
well, as the local boy that had always been at the club, Cass, I was his first roommate when he signed for us, and
you go way back.
I was tucked up in my bed at 10 o'clock, and he was asking who were the drinkers in the squad. So, but great guy.
Yeah, it was an absolute pleasure to talk to, by the way. And there was so many things we could chat to Rory Delap about, actually, over this last kind of couple of weeks. So it was really good to have him. And it was a treat. He really, really was. What have you made of Southampton's start to the season so far? And do you think Portsmouth could pose a threat today?
There's a few Saints supporters that I think are a little bit nervous about this one. I'm confident. I've got belief in the squad and the team, and both sides have been making signings just on the transfer deadline closing. I think the window's staying open as it does, and I'm sure you've talked about it on the show many times. It must be a nightmare for managers. I think Will Still will be pleased that the window's closed now. There was business done. I guess unsurprisingly, there was Tyler Diblin and Mateus Fernandez that left, but there's been a lot of players that have come in right on the close of the window, and that's going to be a little bit of a choice and a dilemma for Will today. What his lineup is going to be, how many of those new signings will maybe figure, but I think Southampton have done good business, and I think they'll have a strong squad, not just for today but for the rest of the season.
Franny, I mean, look, you've played a couple of teams who have spent a lot of money. Wrexham in the start of the season. You've played Ipswich, so teams that have spent money in this championship.
Yeah, and I guess people will look at Southampton as one of the relegated sides and look at their squad and the parachute payments and how that can help, and we've seen how that can be a real benefit. But Will's got to now sort of mould this team as he sees fit, and sort of have a positive campaign. But as we know, as we're talking about now, the real focus is on this match at midday this afternoon. I certainly sprung out of bed, albeit quite early this morning, with a real spring in my step. So, I can't wait to get down there and sample the atmosphere.
Are you going? Yeah, you're getting to the game?
Yeah, I'm actually going to be working on television today on this one. So I'm going to be pitch side. So I'm going to leave my boots at home. I think those days are long behind me. But I'll if there's I don't know about you, Cass, but there's not many games I really wish I was playing in nowadays.
Yes,
this is one of them.
Yeah,
this is one of them I wish I could be part of.
Yeah.
Oh no, it is. It's an absolute.
Well, I've got to ask you, Franny, because you've punished yourself, haven't you? After football, you've done some fabulous raising money for charity and all these sort of Iron Man tests. Are you still doing them? Because I remember meeting you in Sky quite a number of years back, and I kept thinking, why is he punishing himself so much so often?
Yeah, well, there's the fundraising side of it was a huge thing. Wanted to raise at least £1 million for Cancer Research UK, Cass. So fantastic charity, like so many are. But there was that element of wanting to see what I was capable of, how far I could push my body and my mind. And with those challenges, they certainly pushed me beyond breaking point in every way. But I learned a lot, you know, about
7
myself and what we were
triathlons in
capable of.
7 days. You're an absolute hero. Well done, you.
Oh, that's very kind. Thank you. But I had a huge amount of support, Savannah. So, yeah, it made a big difference.
Fair play to you. Listen, enjoy today. It's going to be a cracker. Francis Benali, Saints legend for you on the show this morning. Don't forget Southampton versus Portsmouth live on talkSPORT 2 at midday today. Take care, Franny. All the best.
Franny, all the best.
Have a great day.
You're listening to the Weekend Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Coming up next, we'll get into today's Premier League action and we'll be joined by DJ and Spurs fan Jesse's at next. Good morning.
Tyson Fury, Floyd Mayweather, Canelo Alvarez. Just hearing these names makes you think money and the hundreds of millions of dollars, pounds or Saudi riyals in boxing. But that's at the top. At the bottom, it isn't quite the same. Even for those on the rise, there's not an awful lot of cash in the boxing world. And if you're just starting out, well, it can be a very costly exercise indeed. But don't take my word for it. Here's the former European champion, talkSPORT's Spencer Oliver.
You're turning professional and you're boxing, let's say, York Hall on a non-televised fight. You have to sell tickets to earn any money, but you have to cover the wages of your opponent as well. So if you don't have the ability to be able to sell enough tickets, you effectively have to pay to fight.
A far cry then from Jake Paul facing Mike Tyson in 2024, when the purse was reported to be around £48 million. But the vast amounts of cash lining the top dog's pockets isn't the norm in a typical fight.
Let's say you're lucky and you get between 5 and 10 grand. You're going to get 10 grand max for that. 10% goes to the trainer, 25% goes to the manager. Then we've got the tax man to pay as well. So we're cutting that money in at least half. So now you've got 5 grand for a 10-week camp. So you're talking about a guy here earning, he might be clearing 500 quid a week. How do you support a family on that? So boxers chase the dream, and there's probably 2% of them that actually make it.
So say you do make it and you start to rise up the ranks. Strikers Boxing, a training academy, says the mid-tier fighters can earn more, somewhere between £10,000 and £50,000 a fight, depending on record, profile, opponent and popularity of weight class. It's only at the top level does the real cash start flowing in, with the top-tier professionals, i.e. those going for titles, earning 6 figures a fight. Something else you'll have heard of is the terms prize fighter or journeyman. A prize fighter is, as it sounds, someone who picks up fights where they can and gets a nice big check if they win. Journeymen are the fighters who take on up-and-comers, effectively used for experience in the ring. Even if they're going up against a real prospect, a young Anthony Joshua, for example, these guys will be lucky to earn more than 10 grand. So the average boxer isn't as rich as you'd think. Good morning to you. Welcome along to the Weekend Sports Breakfast live here on talkSPORT. We're on the YouTube channel. We're on your smart TV. If you're having a Sunday morning lying in bed, you can watch Tony Cascarino. Hopefully on your wall.
I don't know if I'd wake up wanting to see me.
Yeah, off. I'm kidding on. Good morning. Hope you're having a good day so far. Here's what you're waking up to on the show today. It was a good Saturday for the North London clubs.
Arsenal in terrific form today, no doubt about that. Arsenal 3, Nottingham Forest 0.
3 goals inside 15 minutes at the start of the second half, and it's West Ham 0, Spurs 3.
We'll get stuck into all of the action from the Premier League, and today it's Derby Day, 12 o'clock on talkSPORT 2. It's the Battle of the South Coast.
The build-up coming into it, played in a fair few derbies in my time, and that was something else.
It's back in the league for the first time in 13 years. Southampton against Portsmouth live on talkSPORT 2 this afternoon. We're going to hear more from the man who played in this game, Rory Delap, a little bit later on. And also Burnley host Liverpool at 2 before the Manchester clubs go head-to-head at 4:30. Which manager needs a win more, Pep Guardiola or Ruben Amorim?
Always I had respect for our city rivals, but the players come back good, and it's a really, really important game for us to change the dynamic, and I trust a lot with the players, and yeah, we're going to do a good game.
All of that coming up on the Weekend Sports Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Morning. Former Millwall striker Tony Cascarino is here with us this morning. Cass, this is a good day today. I mean, I do, we mentioned this earlier on, Derby Day. I feel like the South Coast Derby is really taking the rights as it should, because we've not seen this in a league in so many years. But I mean, Manchester, who do you think is needing a win more today?
Well, they're both.
Well,
it's a really, looking at City and how they've been so dominant over recent years. And obviously Pep has never really had a downside to his career as a manager. But it felt like last season was very unexpected, because most people would have had them firm favourites to win the title last year, and Liverpool won it quite comfortably in the end. And then this season, it was about a rebuild that had gone on, that behind the scenes spent lots of money. In January, they spent a lot of money, and they spent a lot of money in this window. And there's been a lot of ins and outs of the football club. They haven't got going yet. apart from the Wolves performance, which I thought flattered them a bit. You know, they deserve to win. Don't get me wrong. They deserve to win at Molineux, but not 4-0. Then it was a game for a period of the match where it looked like Wolves could get something out of it. But it ended up being 4-0. Yeah. So it's a big thing for them. And then there's obviously what's happened at Old Trafford last season. So it's a big game for Manchester. And I think they need a really exciting derby today, where it's, last year there was a couple of draws between them. So I just think a little bit more bragging rights. And it feels like because Man United have fallen so far away from what we know they're capable of as a club, they're trying to rebuild. And then you have the Manchester bragging rights. So I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be a much better game and a lot more open than we've seen in recent years, because some of them have been pretty hard watch.
Yeah, you're right.
In comparison to what we know it could be or should be.
Yeah, you did right. I'm really optimistic about Ruben Amorim. It's been tough. We've seen, Grimsby, dross, utter dross.
I know.
He has to bounce back from this.
But we feel like we're in a world now, Shebahn, where if they got beat today, if we put the scenario together, they got beat 2-0, 3-0 by City, then your optimism and many other United fans would be absolutely on the floor. Because I was a bit like this with the Ireland team in midweek. I'll say before they played Hungary in international duty, I felt they were slightly moving forward. Came back and got a 2-2 draw against Hungary. And the next game, I think, right, now you nail it down with a win against Armenia. And then suddenly you get beat and then it feels like now he's got to go. That's what will happen this week. If you get beat today and you get beat comfortably, which isn't out of the realms of possibility, then it will be, the phone-ins will be literally Amorim's got to go. So you need a big performance and a result.
Yeah, no, you're right. Natalie Sawyer with you today on Game Day Live, going around the grounds, all of the goals as they happen in the Premier League and beyond. And then over on talkSPORT 2, it's the Battle of the South Coast. That's 12 o'clock. talkSPORT 2, Southampton taking on Portsmouth. By the way, early hours of this morning, Cass and I were watching Netflix on my phone. We were just watching Netflix, by the way. Terence Crawford became the first three-weight undisputed world champion of the four-belt era with a points victory over Canelo Alvarez in Las Vegas in what's been dubbed the fight of the century. All getting underway at 3 a.m. doesn't help much fans this side of the world.
No.
But brilliant. You need to watch that back.
I'm sure anybody who watched it would have found it really intriguing. Most people called it go to 12 rounds.
Yeah.
And that's no surprise. And fair play to him, Terence Crawford. He's gone up 3 weights and won. I'm a big fan of Roberto Duran, who was an incredible fighter in the 80s. And later, he went through 8 different weights.
Wow.
And he was world champion at, I think, 3 to 4 of them. I think because he went from featherweight to light heavyweight. Yeah. Right? He fought them weights. That's amazing to be able to do that. But Terence Crawford has certainly made a massive statement beating Carello in this type of fight because he's the much bigger man.
All of our content is in the talkSPORT Boxing YouTube channel, and also the Fight Night podcast will be available for you wherever you get your podcasts as well. Right, it's time now to discuss a good day for Spurs at the London Stadium.
West Ham 0, Spurs 3. All the goals in the second half. First of them scored by Pap Sarr, March right at the start of the second half from a corner. Sojek then rightly sent off for a foul which endangers João Palhinha, according to the PGMOL, and they were right on that one as well. He was stretching for the ball, never going to get it, and he was rightly dismissed with a straight red card. After that, Bergvall brilliantly headed in, Spurs second, and the third swept home by Mickey van der Ven. West Ham didn't lay a glove on Spurs in the second half, didn't really lay a glove on Spurs much in the first half, when the big talking point was the goal disallowed, scored by Romero. But that doesn't matter now. Spurs go second, West Ham are in the bottom 3. When it's finished here, West Ham 0, Spurs 3.
Yeah, comfortable West Ham. Shocking performance yesterday. Graham Potter really under pressure after standing there and watching that in front of his own fans. A happy day though for Spurs fans, and what was being dubbed as a real kind of rivalry. The half and half scarves were banned from that game as well. Really got tetchy going to that level. Pleased to say joining us now, Spurs fan and DJ Jess is at. Good morning, Jess. How are you?
Jess.
Morning. I am in good spirits today.
Yeah.
But I will say this is earlier than I normally have to get up for work.
Well, you probably just finished work in a club somewhere, Jess.
You know, I actually have a radio show that happens on a Saturday night, but yeah, we were celebrating a little, I can't lie, because I don't know, it's a really good feeling and it's a really good start to the season for Spurs fans. Thomas Frank as well, he's been welcomed with open arms. The only thing that I'm a little bit gutted by, if you go for a 3-0 scoreline, right? Kudus so badly wanted a goal. He wanted to be on the score sheet, and I think that would have been an awesome return to the West Ham Stadium for him. But it didn't happen. But you know what? I'll take the win. I'll take the 3 points and the clean sheet.
Well, look, Jess, the big thing is with Thomas Frank is that he's such an adaptable manager. And last season you had Ange Postecoglou who insisted on playing a particular way, which you can see how versatile Thomas Frank is and adapting, and not only being brilliant at set pieces, that you caused West Ham no end of problems yesterday on nearly every corner. It was just like carnage for West Ham to try and deal with. But that in itself has instilled also his team selection. You're clearly a four at the back starting lineup, and you can cause teams a lot of problems. And he left players out yesterday, like Brennan Johnson, and we also saw Richarlison, who had started the season, and he knew what he needed yesterday against West Ham.
You know what? You just mentioned the two people that I was like, this is crazy. Like last season, those two would not have been left off the starting lineup. Richie with, I think, goal of the season earlier, literally in the first game. And then Brennan Johnson, our top goal scorer, for them to be able to come on as our, I guess, super subs is crazy to me, and something that we've never really, it's something that we've only dreamt of, having this sort of squad depth, because even when we did have younger, exciting players joining, it felt like a bit too early. Whereas this year, it feels like they're really strong and in their element. I mean, Lucas Bergvall was just doing Bergvall things across the entire pitch. Yeah. And I just think also what was quite nice is that even though it was 0-0 in the first half, we just were watching this team that looked really comfortable and it felt like it was coming. I know the West Ham did have a few chances then, but so did we. And I always think that a more experienced team will come for you in the second half. They'll get the job done in the second half. And I think that's testament to Thomas Frank having tactical changes. You did mention Big Ange. I have a huge soft spot for Big Ange, and I really, really wish that he had beaten the Gooners yesterday. But you know what? You can't have it all, can you? So best of luck to him. But yeah, you're right. He was rigid in his style, and I think that did lend us the coldest quote of the season. But he did his thing, and now we've all moved on.
This is it. Where are you moving on to this season? Where can you finish in the league? Is it 17th? Is it 18th?
Oh my God, it can't be 17th again. We're not going through that again. Look, we got the trophy. You know what? I'm going to put this out there. In hindsight, we can look at what Big Ange did for us. And what he did is he sacrificed everything to get Son to lift a trophy and complete that story. And I will forever be grateful for that decade of Son, and then, the cherry on top of the cake. Yeah. And so now we're released and we can move forward. We have a team that was built during his time, and now we're capitalising on that. And I think this season, Thomas Frank can see everything that we need to do, everything that we did wrong last season. He's got a bunch of players that are hungry, have a taste of winning. And I think they're just ready. Yeah. So I'm going to say top 4.
Oh.
I don't want to give an exact position, but I think we're really gunning for it this year. Yeah.
Oh, gunning for it. Wrong word there, Jess, but we'll absolutely take it. We need to get you DJing at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium very, very soon. Jess is at the Spurs fan and DJ as well. Jess, take care. Thanks, you.
Jess.
Big love.
Lovely stuff. Jess celebrating Spurs' win yesterday. Comfortable as well.
Very.
Not a good morning for Graham Potter and West Ham fans. Coming up next on the Weekend Breakfast, we'll get the latest odds for all of today's action from Coral.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Good morning, you're listening to the Weekend Sports Breakfast here on talkSPORT. It's Shebahn Aherne and a man who got 2 assists in an FA Cup semi-final, Tony Cascarino. You're some man for one man, I'll give you that. By the way, yesterday,
go on,
because you were enjoying the races in Ireland, Dean Saunders was here.
Oh, Dean, he's funny, Dean. I've got to know Dean well over the last few years, and he's a funny man. Even off air, he's hilarious.
I'll tell you some of his jokes off air, right?
Oh, I know most of them. I'm sure I've heard most of the ones.
No, this one was a new one. He told me it was a new one specifically. Anyway, Anthony Costa from Blue, Spurs fan, joined us on the show. It was great to hear from him. But speaking of Blue, trending on social media this morning, Bonnie Blue. Do you know who Bonnie Blue is?
Yes. Is that good?
Is that with a straight face?
I'm saying it because I know who Bonnie Blue is, yeah.
Everybody knows who Bonnie Blue is.
Yeah, exactly.
For all the wrong reasons.
Yes.
She's trending this morning on social media because she was at Ibrox yesterday. She went to the game yesterday at Ibrox to watch Rangers.
Oh, I thought she was going to break a new record, her own world record.
At Ibrox. Be good banter. Well, in the end, Rangers did get pumped at Ibrox. Bonnie Blue was there, and that's why she's trending this morning on social media. Rangers also 10th in the league as well.
Yeah. Do we know if she's a Rangers?
Apparently she was giving out T-shirts. I'll try and get you one, Cass, and I'll send it to you.
I don't think that'd go down well at home.
Yeah, just don't do it. Okay, speaking of Bonnie Blue, Simon Clare is here now from Coral with the latest on. Simon!
The Coral Daily Download on talkSPORT. Brought to you by Coral, the home of the free-to-play Golden Rewards Shaker. 18 plus max 1 reward per player per selected Shaker day. 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Restrictions and T's and C's apply. Gambleaware.org.
Just joking. Morning, Simon.
I love that. No, I'm vaguely flattered, actually. I like that. Speaking of Bonnie Blue, let's speak to Simon Clare. You know,
Simon. I felt very awkward to admit that I know who Bonnie Blue is.
Yes.
Did you feel the same?
Everyone does.
Do you know what? You've got a much better memory than me, because as soon as I saw the pictures on YouTube I was watching, then I realised the famous lady who's got quite a high success rate. But you knew, though, Cass. I needed to be reminded. That's where I'm impressed.
Oh, guys.
Well, anyway, what's the odds?
For your partners, hear you guys talking about Bonnie Blue. Okay, Premier League fixtures coming up today, please, Simon. Burnley against Liverpool.
Yeah, listen, Burnley, it's fascinating. I'm just looking at the relegation betting. Burnley are the shortest price for relegation. They're 4-11. It's actually then very tight, with Wolves at 5-6, even Sunderland with a good draw yesterday, 7-4 Leeds, unlucky yes against Fulham, and 7-4 West Ham. So of the relegation betting, Burnley are almost firmly adrift at the bottom. So this is still just favourites over Arsenal, so a win today would cement that. But you're a Liverpool fan, Cass. Do you expect 3 points, or do you think, like all these Premier League games this season, it could throw out more of a surprise than we think?
Well, you'd have to expect, with the money that Liverpool has spent and the quality they've got, to go there and win at Turf Moor. Well, what I want to know, Simon, have you got any specials? And also, what price are you giving us on Alexander Isak scoring?
Oh, God, that's very, very good. I should have picked that out, actually.
Oh, come on, Simon.
I'm going to find it very quickly. So it'll take me seconds just to chat briefly while I look up the popular goal-scoring markets on the...
I thought you'd have a special, because obviously he might not start today, because Arne Slot spoke at the end of the week and said, look, we bought him for 6 years. We're not buying him for just this weekend and playing. So come on, tell me what.
Well, thanks for chatting. Alexander Isak to score and Liverpool to win is even money. So you get even money at Isak goal and a Liverpool win. He's 3-1 to score first and a shade of odds on to score at any time, Cass. So, yes, it's all about Isak today after Volta made a great start for Newcastle yesterday.
Volta just makes me want to say Voldemort.
I'm just glad I pronounced it vaguely right.
I absolutely butchered it earlier on, Simon. Voldemada. And what about in Scotland as well? Kilmarnock against Celtic today. I'm hopeful.
Yeah, listen, they're odds on Celtic 2-7. Another extraordinary result for Rangers yesterday. Celtic now 1-5 for the title. Hearts now second favourites at 13-2, top of the table, with Rangers third. I think Rangers 7.5-1 seems optimistic. They've started so badly, but yeah, 2-7 Celtic should win. against Kilmarnock 9-1 to get a shock win there.
Okay, the Manchester derby at City today. Obviously, City will be favourites. How short are they, Simon?
Yeah, it's a great preview. I mean, it's a fascinating game. Both managers, in many ways, under a lot of pressure at the moment. I just looked, actually. It's quite interesting. Of the last 20 Manchester derbies, the home side has only won 6. So home form always goes out the window. We saw United beat City last year at the Etihad. They're 3-1 to do so, 4-5 Man City. A very backable price, Man City, after 2 losses from their first 3 starts. 3-1 the draw. I mean, I think it's going to be a compelling watch. I know you're a United fan, aren't you, Shebahn?
Yeah.
Are you hopeful of another shock today?
I'd snap your hand off for a draw. I really would. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm optimistic, but this is Manchester City. Well, long way to go, but I'd take a goalless draw. Honestly, I really would, Simon.
Chesco's 5-2 to score first, but Mbuemo 11-4, Fernandes 7-2. I think the great thing is United quite potent up front suddenly with their new signings.
Yeah.
So I think it should be a lively game, hopefully.
This is it. Well, we'll leave you for the rest of your day, Simon. And
thank you very much, Shebahn.
Go through your content. We know what you'll be up to later on, Simon, so it's all good.
I'll be watching. Actually, a very cool one. Cass, were you at the races yesterday?
Yeah, Leopardstown, yeah.
Amazing. Did you have a good time?
Yeah, fantastic. It was Leopardstown has a beautiful course, and it's just it was a great day. I really enjoyed it. I came back late last night, so yeah, Simon, really good.
I'm really impressed. Yeah, well, listen, just a quick shout out. Great racing in Ireland today for the second day of that Champions Weekend.
Yeah, Leopardstown again. Yeah.
4 Group 1s, and friends of mine, the Mariscottis, own a very good horse, Zavazetti in the National Stakes, 9-2. I'm hoping that'll go well. But yes, enjoy the racing from the sofa today, Cass.
Yeah,
lovely stuff, Simon Clare, as ever.
Cheers,
Thanks so
Simon.
much. We'll hear from you next week as ever on talkSPORT Breakfast. That was the look at the latest odds with Coral. 18+ BeGambleAware.org, and please gamble responsibly.
The Coral Daily Download on talkSPORT. Brought to you by Coral, the home of the free-to-play Golden Rewards Shaker. 18+ max 1 reward per player per selected Shaker day. 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Restrictions and T's and C's apply. GambleAware.org.
It's the South Coast Derby over on talkSPORT 2, 12 o'clock today, and we'll continue our build-up to the Manchester Derby with former Man City keeper Nicky Weaver on the way next morning. Morning, welcome along to Sunday's Weekend Sports Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Shebahn Aherne alongside the best poker player at talkSPORT, that's for sure. Tony Cascarino is with you this morning. Terence Crawford became the undisputed champ of 3 weights at about 4 o'clock this morning. That's a lie, it was about 6ish that happened, wasn't it? We were watching it on Netflix earlier on in the show. Just looking at the screens just now, it's underway at Wentworth. Rory's just teed off. Oh, hello.
Yeah, he's doing. I mean, it's a funny one for Rory because obviously he's achieved so much this year, and he'd won in Ireland as well. In the
what about that roar at the Irish Open?
Yeah, it was unreal.
Get to play
the BMW, it was an extraordinary golf, and obviously the Ryder Cup's round the corner. But you've got some boys in the Ryder Cup team. Tyrrell Hatton's going well.
Yep.
Aberg's done well. You've got Victor Hovland as well. You know, this all bodes well. Probably the one that's not quite on his game is John Ram. You know, and you think when John Ram left to go live golf, he was world number 1.
Yeah.
You know, such a great player, and hopefully he can find his form for the Ryder Cup.
Absolutely. Live for you on talkSPORT 2 today, the Battle of the South Coast Derby. It's back in the Championship, the first time in a league game in 13 years. It is going to be fierce, that one. Southampton taking on Portsmouth. 12 o'clock live for you over on talkSPORT 2. Also coming up for you on talkSPORT today, 9 o'clock straight after us, it's the Sunday edition with Faye Carruthers and Henry Winter. Really looking forward to this show because they're going to be joined by Aaron D'Souza, Cass, who's the president of the Enhanced Games.
Yeah.
Ben Proud this week, the Olympian, opting to go for the Enhanced Games.
Yeah.
What did you think about that?
I don't know. I'm not really sure. It's one of them. Look, I'm so focused on working in football that sometimes other sports suffer. I mean, never golf, because I watch golf more than I watch football. But I always feel like sometimes I have to be careful because, you know, sports that are growing or different ideas in sport, you have to be careful because you've got to look and see what they're about.
Yeah. I feel
you'd know more than me.
I don't feel great about it. I feel like it's encouraging drugs in sport, this new version of sport.
Yeah, that's one of the issues.
But I don't want to be judgy, and I will absolutely happily listen to Aaron D'Souza, president of the Enhanced Games, on the Sunday edition today with Faye Carruthers and Henry Winter after us at 9 o'clock this morning. Like we say, over on talkSPORT 2, the South Coast Derby. That's with Nigel Adderley and Scott Minto. Here on Game Day Live on talkSPORT, Natalie Sawyer in the hot seat, going around the grounds from the Premier League, the champ, the WSL, and including Burnley against Liverpool. All the updates from half one and the Manchester Derby. And then following that, Sam Ellard and former Premier League manager Alan Pardew are taking your calls. If you're venting your frustration or you want to be positive about your side, you can give the lads a call in the studio over on talkSPORT 2 at 5 o'clock. If you like your NFL, we've got it for you all week here on talkSPORT 2. Here's our man, Will Gavin.
After the new NFL season got off to a thunderous start last week, week 2 is upon us and promises to be just as good. Live over on talkSPORT 2, the Buffalo Bills, fresh off that huge win over the Baltimore Ravens, take on the New York Jets. And then on Sunday Night Football, it's the Minnesota Vikings, who had a big comeback of their own, facing off with the Atlanta Falcons. They both promise to be barnstormers. It all gets underway on talkSPORT 2 from 5 p.m. this evening.
Well, Gavin, looking forward to that. We are your home of live sport. You're listening to the Weekend Sports Breakfast here on talkSPORT. And coming up for you at 4:30 today, there's another cracker in the Premier League.
Welcome to Manchester.
It is a rivalry that has never lacked the spice or intrigue.
Ready!
Drilled in by David Silva and turned in by Vincent Kompany.
And it's about to heat up again. Back-to-back defeats for Pep Guardiola's side.
It's not the best situation in the start, but it's what it is.
You know, we always say it doesn't really get going so much. You've just got to be there.
You cannot leave it like a normal derby, like two great teams fighting for the title, and it's not fair.
Bruno Fernandes puts the ball in the back of net. Manchester United 3, Burnley 2.
We're now talking about a football club that he's been in charge of for 10 months. And there seems to be nothing changed.
I'm pretty sure he's a very good guy. He's still a very good manager, but he's living a nightmare.
Expectations are different. The expectations and then the focus on Manchester United.
What an individual effort from Matthias Cunha! But it's back to Haaland, point-blank range, and there he shows what a goal scorer he can be.
Fergie once went on record as saying that
for a Manchester derby, City would never be favourites in his lifetime. Well, that has completely turned around.
4:30 this afternoon, Manchester City against Manchester United. Here to look ahead to the game with us, former Man City keeper Nicky Weaver is with us. Good morning, Nicky.
Hi, Nicky. You okay?
Yeah, good, thanks.
Good. I tell you what, the story of the two Manchester clubs, certainly since the start of the season, Nicky, has been your position, goalkeeper.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's been a position that's been talked about a lot. Obviously, both teams have signed new goalkeepers. Both teams have lost goalkeepers. I was not really surprised that Edison went, because it had been rumoured for the last couple of summers, and I think once a player of sort of Edison's level gets into the last year of his contract, there's obviously something not quite right there, and obviously he's gone off to Turkey, and it meant that it left the door open for City to bring Donnarumma in, which early on in the summer I thought Man United might have gone for Donnarumma. But listen, I think once City had the chance to sign, probably the best goalkeeper in the world, then they jumped at it.
Nicky, tell us, look, I'm sure as the goalkeeping union, you'll stick up for goalkeepers and how the position has changed with so much demand in keeping the ball, using their feet. But there's a lot of people also in the game who are saying, well, we just want to see goalkeepers make, basic saves sometimes that seemingly they don't, where goalkeepers punch out sometimes when you think years gone by, they'd have just held it.
Yeah, listen, the role of a goalkeeper has changed dramatically over the last 7 or 8 years, 10 years, since sort of Pep really coming to the Premier League. But ultimately, he'll be judged on what goes in the net, and particularly at Old Trafford this year and last year as well. There's too many things gone in that perhaps shouldn't have. So I think a little bit has been lost in, trying to keep the ball out of the net, versus, playing out from the back, which is great. And I mean, I think Edison took it onto another level. I don't think we've ever seen anyone, break lines, set attacks up. It was so accurate, precise and pinpoint with his passing. And it's going to be really interesting at City because, Donnarumma, possibly the best goalkeeper in the world, but he's not Edison with his feet. So it's going to be an interesting sort of transition of, how it goes for him. But like I said, once you get the opportunity to sign, probably the best goalkeeper in the world, I think you've got to take it. But it is going to be different because they're going to have to play, a slightly different style of play.
Nicky, I know it's only 3 games gone in the season so far, but City are 6th from bottom, which, OK, 3 points, and they've had a couple of strange results, as in we wouldn't expect them to be beaten so comfortably at home by Spurs. But just generally, even if they win today through 4 games, we can't imagine Manchester City, they'd still be just mid-table.
Yeah, I mean, it's 6 points behind Liverpool already, and that could be 9 by the time kickoff comes. And, realistically, how many games are Liverpool going to lose this season? It's not going to be too many, is it? So, it's a massive, massive game. They've got Arsenal again next week away, so that's going to be difficult as well. So, yeah, it's a huge game for both clubs, but I think more so for City because the expectation is that we're going to be challenging for the title. And listen, we're not getting carried away. There's only 3 games gone, but you can't let that gap get any bigger. So it's a huge, huge game today. One that I think City will win, but again, we've seen in derbies that anything can happen. I think it's very important to keep 11 players on the pitch. But yeah, we certainly can't let that gap get any bigger.
And what do you feel that Manchester United are different from last season? Because obviously, being a City player and you keep on top of everything that's happens at both clubs, and United have, again, had a really disappointing season last year and have rebuilt. Do you expect it to be a slightly different derby today in some form?
Well, I think they've got a lot more threat going forward with the pace that they've brought in. They've had not a great start, but a perhaps better start than it could have been, if you like. And I just think United will... Listen, I don't think they're going to be up there challenging, but I think they'll have a lot better season than they did last year. With the signings they've made, they've spent a lot of money. So, yeah, I think it'll be slightly different in terms of they offer a lot more going forward. And we know how vulnerable City can be to pace on the counter-attack. And I think, from City's point of view, it's about trying to find that consistency. We all know that City will probably dominate the game possession-wise, but it's, they're really vulnerable when they lose the ball, it turns over and they're facing pace on the counter-attack. And that's been a problem that's, been there for a couple of years. And the early signs of this season are that it's not really been addressed yet. So that's, a key area of the game today on the turnover of possession.
Very quickly, Nicky, I mean, we know that Ruben Amorim's under pressure. Pep, there's an element of pressure on Pep. Who do you think needs a win more today?
Personally, City, because obviously I want City to win more. But listen, they both need a win. Like I said, Amran's been there a long time now, and not that much has changed for United. I think in personnel it has, and I think they will get better. But for City, obviously last year was a relatively disappointing season for the standards they'd set in recent seasons. So yeah, hugely important that they get another win, and then like I said, they've got a huge game next weekend away at Arsenal, so it doesn't get any easier. But yeah, a huge game for both teams. But obviously, I've got my City hat on, so hopefully City can get the 3 points.
Wonderful stuff. Give us your prediction before you go, Nicky.
2-1 City.
All right, lovely stuff. Nicky Weaver, former City keeper. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Cheers, Nicky.
Cheers, thank you.
Enjoy the game. All the best to you. Man City fans, Man United fans, who needs a win more, Pep or Amarine? Give us a call, 03717 22 33 44. You're listening to the Weekend Sports Breakfast on talkSPORT. Good morning, you're listening to the Weekend Sports Breakfast here on talkSPORT. It's Shebahn Aherne alongside former Republic of Ireland and Chelsea striker Tony Cascarino. Some of your news this morning. If you were fast asleep at 6 a.m, I don't blame you. On a Sunday morning, if you were just rolling out of a nightclub, you probably missed the fact that Terence Crawford stunned Saul Canelo Alvarez on points in Vegas, becoming the first male fighter in the modern era to hold undisputed titles in 3 weight divisions. We were saying, what is the modern era? I'm saying something like 50, got to be 15 years, something like 150. Same thing. There's not
it's a long time. I had no idea. When I heard the modern era, I was thinking long before 15 years, but never to going back to the Queensberry rules of over 100 and odd years ago.
Yeah, no, I wasn't thinking that at all.
No.
I was thinking, what's modern era? There's rules coming into it. Another news, Harry Kane scored twice as Bayern Munich thrashed promoted Hamburg 5-0 to consolidate their position at the top of the Bundesliga. And our motor racing correspondent Johnny Jackson has swapped 4 wheels for 2 this weekend as he takes in some MotoGP. John, what's happening today, please?
Good morning, guys. I'm here in Italy at the San Marino Grand Prix. Checking out MotoGP, a huge buzz around MotoGP at the moment. I know we got Max Verstappen, we got Lewis Hamilton from F1, potentially looking at buying teams in the future, but the huge buzz is around the return of Marc Marquez, and it looks like he's going to wrap up another World Championship to go level with the legend in these parts, Valentino Rossi. They don't really like Marc Marquez around here. This is Rossi country, and I'm looking forward to watching the race a little bit later on, and you can do so as well. Our friends at TNT Sports broadcast all of MotoGP across the season, and that will be live at 1 p.m. The race starts this afternoon on TNT Sports. Look out for all the Rossi fans in the stands. It's going to be a sea of yellow.
Oh, looking forward to it. John Jackson there. He gets all the good gigs, doesn't he?
Yeah, I knew John when he was nothing. No, John a long time. He does it really well. Does it fantastically well.
Absolutely brilliant. You can look forward to MotoGP at 1 o'clock today, John. I'll keep you posted on that. 03717 223344 is the number. It's Derby Day. talkSPORT 2. It's the South Coast Derby here on talkSPORT. Natalie Sawyer here for Game Day Live, keeping you posted on all of the goals from the Prem and beyond. And it's the Manchester Derby. We've been asking who needs this more, Cass. Is it Pep who needs the win more? Is it Ruben Amorim? We can speak now to Lee, the Manchester United fan. Good morning, Lee.
Hi, Lee.
Good morning. Good morning, Shebahn. Good morning, Tony.
Very good morning to you. What do you want to say? What do you think about this today?
I'm not quite sure about this game today. I mean, yeah, I'd love for United to win, but I feel like if we did, it's still just papering over cracks. He's still trying the same thing, and he's not playing the players in the positions they need to play in. And obviously our defence is a bit shaky, especially with a goalkeeper that likes to flap.
Well, you've had loads of challenges over the last 18 months, and Amorim is trying to change a lot at a football club that, to be fair, looking at them last season, you come away thinking they set the standards, Manchester United. You and Liverpool always were the teams, and then we've had Chelsea, Arsenal in recent years, Manchester City, and it feels like, I think you say paper over the cracks, but I actually feel, let's see if they can get that great victory, go to the Etihad and win, and then see what happens. Will there be an air of confidence, a bit of momentum can be gathered with Manchester United?
I mean, last season I was jumping up and down on the sofa with that late comeback when we won 2-1 in the end. But you've been talking about long throws lately, and my brother was the captain at Wrexham. He was a long throw specialist, and I feel like if we had a thrower, I mean they've tried with Dallo before, but it doesn't really work. But we've got no one in the box that can header it. He's not playing Maguire. I mean, he would be an ideal target for something like that, wouldn't he?
Well, Šeško as well is 6'4". You'd like to think.
We haven't really seen it. We've hardly seen him, to be fair. He played 90 minutes against Grimsby, and he can't even get a start.
No, he clearly wasn't fit. Start of the season, sometimes when players have been on the, had their head turned and been on the market, and obviously he was going to move somewhere, you might find it quite often that his pre-season was affected.
Yeah. Lee, the Man United fan, thank you so much for your call today. Lee, who's your brother, by the way? Who's your Wrexham brother?
Ben Tozer is my little brother.
Oh, no way. Oh, what a small world.
Yeah.
I've listened to him on your show a few times when he's spoken to Jeff and things like that. But yeah.
Oh, well, thanks for calling, Lee. No, thanks very
Cheers,
much for getting in touch with the show. 03717 223344 is always the number, and it's time now for this.
The Court of Authority on Sport. Cass.
Now, imagine the unimaginable.
Objection.
We've been talking about Paul Pogba.
Order in court.
Sorry, my mic just went down.
Cass, the Court of Authority on Sport. The definitive answer on sport's biggest debates and some pointless discussions too.
The Court of Arbitration for Sport is CAS. Whatever you read it now, it's just CAS, and that's our CAS, obviously. Not the same guy, but does a similar job. You're our CAS of talkSPORT, okay?
Well, I don't know. After I stuttered there as I was talking.
No, earlier on, it was about 7 o'clock this morning, and the mics were live, and he went, "What are we doing now, Shebahn? What are we doing?"
I said, "What's up next, Shebahn?"
No, you did not. My eye, you did. Okay, time for CAS, where we ask our very own Tony Cascarino to cast a judgment over some of the most controversial questions in sport to decide their fate. The court is now in session. Right, Cass, let's start with something you may be familiar with. The EFL were in talks to change the playoffs. Here's what Troy Deeney had to say about it.
It's perfect for what it is. I think we just get to this point where people try and fill dead spaces, don't they? Because there is that nice little gap between the semi-finals and the final of about 8 days, 9 days, 10 days, depending on when you played. And that's fine. I think they're just trying to fill that and maximise money. I think it's been perfect. It's the, in my opinion, it's the best game in football, that playoff final, because you saw it last year with Sunderland. You know, they weren't expected to go, and they got into the playoffs very early. They were kind of expected to be the team that no one thought would win. They go and win it. It's great. But we've had so many iconic moments in that. Why mess about with it? Why?
Do we keep it? Do we change it? Playoffs?
No, you don't change it. I'm totally with Troy. You know, it's this idea of, you know, when you see children's football sometimes and they give everybody a medal, and I feel like you're trying to give everybody success, you know, in some way, an opportunity, and it doesn't just end with where you finish in your league position. You have got 2 or 3 opportunities of actually getting promoted. I think it's great, the playoffs as it is. I don't think you need to touch it. It's the World Cup has 48 teams now. You might as well say, let's everybody in the world play in the World Cup.
Yeah.
You know, just keep expanding.
Very quickly, Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy from the Sports Bar were at it again, but not just about football this time. This time it was where is to get the best pint.
This one for me, I just can't see how it's going to work. There's so much around Ange Postecoglou, his interviews, the things he comes out with.
Yeah.
And I just think there's just so many problems that come with that. And when you're Nottingham Forest, because he's been at Tottenham and it was a bit of a disaster in terms of like his interviews and stuff, and the stuff that he give the press. He's just carried it straight into the...
Oh, they're miles off it. They weren't even talking about pints there at all.
I'm waiting for the pint.
Where's the best place for pint? Is it the airport?
No.
Friday night after work finishes?
No, just the best pub you can find that do all different ales.
Okay. Ales?
Ales. No, you get all the huge amount of choice, you know, and you go in.
Yeah.
And you can try new ones. So really good pubs is the best place to...
This is the Court of Arbitration of Sport. The man has spoken himself. Tony Cascarino, you're back next weekend with us. Thank you so much for today. Go for a pint.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
What are we doing next, Shebahn? I'll tell you what's coming next on talkSPORT. It's the Sunday edition, Faker Others, and Henry Winter with you next.